Welcome to Fox Soul, beloved. I am Dr. Sean, and you're watching the Book of Sean. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tonight, me and you, we're going to have what I believe will be a remarkable conversation. Tonight is probably the strangest installation, the strangest segment of the love series that I do. Tonight, I want to talk about love in the midst of the corona situation, because I believe in the midst of plagues and viruses, I still believe that love fundamentally matters. I want to understand how we might deepen, renew, and restore and reimagine our love scenarios, love relationships, and connections. And tonight, I don't care what's going on around us. I still believe in the power of love, what it can do, what it can change, how it can make us who we're supposed to be. So I thought on the drive to the studio this afternoon, about the remarkable conversation that I had last night with Dr. Jamal Brown. And it was a very interesting conversation because in that we talked about the role of religion and spirituality in this moment. And I myself this afternoon, it's situations and moments like this that religion was made for. You know, all those sermons you've heard, all those worship songs you lifted your hands to, all those times you clapped and rocked with the choir. Well, all of that was to prepare you for this, because you don't need necessarily religion when all your bills are paid. You don't necessarily, religion is an ornament to life. When all your bills are paid and there's a roof over your head and there's food in the refrigerator and everything is going well, religion becomes an accessory. But when you don't have any of that, and none of that happens to be the case, that's when religion and spirituality and the sense of God consciousness becomes essential for your future and for your life. And that's what we want to do with love tonight. We want to put love in the middle of the conversation. We want to put love at the center of our undertaking. No matter what's going on in the world, we are rooted and we are grounded in the principle and in the power of what it means to be a people who have been loved and who resist the temptation to fall down into pessimism. We dare to love. Sick, afraid, anxious, with fear, but we dare to love. And that's exactly what we're going to do tonight. We're going to love, we're going to talk about it, we're going to think about it, and we're going to be about it, because love is everything. It's not just the only thing, it's everything. And so tonight we're going to do that. I want to remind you that we're live, so you can be a part of our conversation by leaving a message on the message board at foxsoul.tv. You can call us 866-FOX-SOUL. I have some extraordinary guests tonight. Denai Marari is on the show tonight. She's going to talk to us about relationships and how we can maintain what it is we're trying to do. Author and producer and thought leader, Devon Franklin is on the show tonight. Dietrich Hatton is on the show tonight. All of these extraordinary people will be here, will be a part of this conversation as we make sure that love is not silenced in the midst of disease, because love has a part to play in our future and in our survival. I might have a special guest calling as well. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but he might call. It's going to be interesting if he does, because I'm telling you, at the end of the day, what it is we're trying to do, what it is we're trying to become, we're trying to become better people. And I dare you to believe that in the midst of all of this, we can still become better people in the midst of what we're going through. This is not an excuse for us to shrink back to our baser and lower selves. We have within us the power and the resources to summon that level of genius and reciprocity and kindness that makes us worthy of the title human. For that is what we are. First and foremost, we are human beings. And while the virus may be exposing our humanity in the worst possible way, I dare to believe that a conversation and a life rooted in love can expose our humanity in the best of ways. What would you say if I told you that this might be one of the best things that ever happened to us? Because it forces us to reorder and to prioritize what means the most to us. And in the midst of the storm, sometimes, you've heard me say it before, sometimes the price we pay for clarity is misery. Sometimes the only way to get clear and to be clear about what it is you love and what it is you value is to go through a situation that squeezes you from both sides. Sometimes it's only in the night season that you come to appreciate what the sun and what the light looks like. So here, we are where we are. This is where we are. And we can't resent it, and we can't long to be somewhere else. This is where we are. This is what's going on. What we can do is face it. We can sit down and face it together. We can sit in it. We can absorb it and accept it as our reality. And we can decide that though it is our reality, it does not have to become our identity. We dare to define ourselves in ways apart from and separate from all of the rigmarole that's going on. And so tonight, you tuned in for what might well be the best conversation you had all week. Because aren't you tired of talking about diseases and just people being sick and how many more people died and how many more people fell out? We got to know the information, but aren't you tired of it? That's why you came to this show tonight. You came because you knew if you came here, you would hear something that would make you want to live, believe, grow, and excel. And I promise tonight, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. So, let me tell you tonight that I have joining me some extraordinary people who are going to not just bless us, not just speak into our lives, they're going to help us understand ourselves so much better. That tonight, and we're going to do it in the midst of the storm, not after the storm is over. We're going to grow in the midst of the storm. And so tonight, I want to prepare you to hear from somebody who is on the line. She is a part of, she's been on my show before. She's a friend of this show. She is an extraordinary person, a relationship expert. Welcome to the show, a dear friend and dear sister, Dr. Denai Mareri. Denai, are you there?
Yes, sir, Dr. Sean. I am right here. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm doing well. I refuse to accept anything other than the notion that I'm well, we're well, and I'm praying you're well.
I am well, all is well, you are well, and that is all it's going to be. We are all well.
That's
yes,
right.
Sir.
That's right. So let's get into it. And I'm going to ask you, because I have a lot of ground to cover and not a lot of time to do it in. And so I got a bunch of questions I want to ask you. The first thing I want to ask you is, talk to me about the conundrum or the difficulty associated with navigating a relationship in an atmosphere and climate of fear.
Right. So what a great question. The truth is we are all here in quarantine. We're in unmitigated circumstances that is of no fault of our own, but we're in a national emergency. And so the first thing I would say is, to calm down, to keep your peace, to speak peace toward one another, and to remember not to be anxious, not to be fretful, not to be worried. You know what I mean?
How do we do that, Denai? How do we do that?
How do you do that?
Yeah.
Well, I think you do it by focusing on what you do have. You know what I mean? You have your health, you have your strength, you have the person that you love who's in front of you, because we're talking about couples, right?
Yeah.
You have a family that loves you. You still have a home. You still have food. Most of us have been out and grocery shopping, and everything's been insane.
Right.
But most of us were able to stock up. And we still live in a country where, for most of the world, they're living on $2 a day. We don't, so we're blessed. We're grateful. Focus on the fact that we are grateful.
Focus
to be
on
blessed,
what we have. Yes, I love that. I love that, because at the end of the day, I think that so many people are fearing what hasn't even happened yet.
Absolutely, which is another thing, another thing to address is basically you need to stay in the moment. You know what I mean? Fear is false evidence appearing real, and it's literally you becoming afraid and anxious and worried about what might happen. Not about what is happening, but about what might happen. In the moment, you're fine. You don't have the virus for the vast majority of us, so focus on that. And just speak peace to yourself, and
to each other, because I guess what I'm straining and stretching us to consider is how this situation might empower us within the context of love to create a new normal.
Well, it's so funny that you say that, because there are so many different opportunities. Every time that life gives us something to complain about, there's also something to learn from it and to extract some sort of value from it. I totally agree with you.
Yes.
So having said that, the things that we should be focused on if we are in a loving relationship, in a loving couple, et cetera, are things like creating a whole new normal, as you said, which looks like remaining, calm. It looks like understanding that, if you all are quarantined together, you're going to be getting on each other's nerves. It's just going to happen.
Right.
So what you need to understand is that this is a time where we need to be extra patient with one another.
Deny. I live by myself and I get on my own damn nerves.
I'm with you there.
I say to myself,
totally with you.
Wash the dishes, Sean. Nope.
Well, you know what? And that's another thing. This is a time where, listen, most of us in the hustle and bustle of life, we are constantly saying what we would love to do.
Yeah.
But we don't do it. We always, we're always figuring we don't have the time. Well, now we do have the time.
Now we do.
So, because this is a love show and we're talking about love, I would say if you are in love with someone, stay at home, have a staycation, have a vacation at home, turn your home into a sanctuary rather than focusing on, it being someplace negative. And again, it's going to require a great deal of patience that you all need to have with each other.
So let me ask you this, Denai, let me ask you this, because I want to make sure that we go down into the details and give people some practical advice. Speak specifically, because you mentioned it before, we're trapped in the house together. Speak specifically to conflict management and conflict resolution. What can people do? They love each other, but they're getting on each other's damn nerves. What can they do to manage that?
It's so great that you're asking that, because so many times, usually what couples do is avoid. They use avoidance as a tool. So they leave the home for work, they leave the home, go to the gym, go to a bar, go to a family's house so that they can, escape one another. But in this situation, you can't do that. So dealing with conflict in close quarters is going to have to include several different things. Number one, again, patience.
Yes.
Number two, using low tones of voice. Number three, using safe words. Number four,
whoa. What's a safe word?
Yes, sir.
What's a safe word?
A safe word is something like, rather than saying you always and you never, it's more like using something like, when you do this, I feel that way. Do you know what I mean?
Got it.
It's using language where it's not attacking and it's not defending. It's more just expressing with no judgment on the other person and no accusation.
I thought you meant by safe say right before I kill you. It's the word I say that lets you know you better run out of here.
Listen, if you all get to the point where, and it can happen, if you get to the point where you all are in a heated discussion, you really can use a timeout. And I have a mentor who actually says, use the T, put the T up and say timeout, things are getting really heated, and I just need to take some time away. I'm not abandoning you, I'm not abandoning the discussion, we can come back to this later.
I just need to get away.
For right now, yes. And take some time, go into a different area of the home or the apartment and just take some time. Sometimes, because we're right up on top of each other, the conflicts arise because of too much closed space. So people need to be able to take some space. But the other thing I want you to know is, if you're going to make it through this, like I said, naturally we would get on each other's nerves.
Right.
So what you cannot afford to focus on is the negative. You can't afford to focus on what irritates you about yourself.
Deny. I want to change gear. I got a lot of ground to cover with you.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me about folks who are in long distance relationships. People who, they're in different cities, they're quarantined, they can't get out. How can they keep those connections fresh and renewed and healthy?
FaceTime. We are in the time of the internet, and this is a wonderful time to be in a long-distance relationship, because for the first time ever, due to the internet and all of these apps, WhatsApp, FaceTime, Skype, etc., you don't have to spend money to keep in touch. You can literally have FaceTime with your partner. You all can talk. You can build, you can connect, you can bond. There are all sorts of things that you can do. There are books that you guys can, read together. There are other books that are just have exercises like 101 questions for a first date, or 101 questions to spark love, or 101 questions to find, the person that you love. So you guys can go through exercises of questions to get to bond with one another, to build connection.
That's good. Now, okay, I have another question, and my producers give me questions for every show, and most of the time I read the questions and I kind of move on. I incorporate them in a different way, but today I got one of the best questions from the producer that I've ever seen. Here is the question. I didn't think of this question, but here's the question. The question is, now that couples are quarantined in the same house together, is this the time to be coming clean about things that y'all don't know about each other?
No.
That's a brilliant question, TJ!
What a great question. And I'm so glad you asked it. No,
I love it.
I would not recommend that. Listen, based on the fact that you all are going to be in close quarters for an extended period of time, and right now it's 14 days, but it could go longer. We do not know that. Now is not the time to go deep on troublesome issues, or revealing some deep, dark secrets that you saved up until this moment. This is not the time, because there's no place for your partner to go. There isn't, and it's just not fair. It's like, play fair, you know what I mean? I would not recommend that, no.
Hold on, Denai, I gotta talk to the audience. For all of you watching, this is not the time to be telling each other stuff you might not want the other person to know if they can't leave the room. Wait until you can leave the house. This is professional advice from Denai and Dr. Sean. So Denai, let me ask you this, because I'm not just interested in managing problem scenarios. I'm not just interested in helping people manage difficulties. I'm always aspirational and pushing people higher. So how can this time, in practical ways, be a moment of renewal for love scenarios?
If you all look at each other and say, we're going to reconnect with one another in a way that we first connected with one another, and you use this time to date one another, and I literally mean you could set up, the living room as a restaurant, and, candles, music, flowers, etc.
I love that.
And have conversations and be romantic with one another in ways that, again, we always say we're going to, but when we're not in a situation like this, we put it off.
As soon as I find somebody to be romantical with, I'm going to do the same thing. I think that's great. I love the idea of taking your, put the candles and the cloth and making the situation become an atmosphere to deepen the connection. I love that.
Absolutely. You can even, people don't dance anymore. Turn on some slow music and dance in the living room. Come on.
If you were here, I'd slap you with my shoe. I'm telling you. I love that.
This is all I'm saying. Listen, as much as we think, even millennials, there are all these misnomers about millennials being, not really into love. They're sort of superficial because of the Tinder and, a lot of these different dating apps, et cetera. But the truth is, there was an incredibly successful television show that was released on Netflix a few weeks ago, and it went insane. It was called Love is Blind.
Yeah.
And the premise is people not seeing the person that they're falling in love with, but rather focusing on building a connection based on communication, sharing stories, bonding.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I love it.
People fell in love.
I think it's great. Denai, I got to ask you more questions. Denai.
Okay.
I got to ask you more questions. This is important because, it's kind of silly. Because that's also a part of me. People think I'm serious all the time, but I'm actually very silly. Here's a silly question.
I know you're silly.
Denai, do you think that there will be a whole generation of Corona babies?
Yes. I can't believe you asked that. Yes. I absolutely do.
Oh, that's a great question.
One of the best ways, let's just take it there. One of the best ways that two people can love each other in the midst of, a quarantine situation is to make love. And there are tons of memes going around right now saying, I don't want to have to deal with 20,000 baby showers in December because y'all couldn't figure out anything else to do. Yes, I think that there will be a whole generation of coronavirus babies, and I think it's going to be a hilarious December.
So, Denai, do me a favor and give me two things that people can do two things that people can do who are struggling with loneliness right now. So we talked about couples and people who are together, but there are people who, the most fundamental love scenario is the love you have with yourself, right? So what can a person who's struggling with loneliness do? Give me two things they can do to help negotiate and overcome the loneliness.
I think there are two things. I think there are a couple of things you could do. One would be, I always say, reach out. Go through your phone book and reach out. Tell somebody how you're feeling. Tell somebody that you need them. Tell somebody that you love them. You'd be surprised how many times people aren't calling you because they don't know. You know, you'd be surprised how much people care once they actually know that you're lonely, that you aren't having, that you don't have a person in your life right now, or that,
what's the second one?
Some type of way. Yeah. People in general tend to be very loving and very open. So the first thing I would do is pick up the phone and call a family member, call a friend, call someone that you know and let them know how you're feeling. The second thing that I would do, in all honesty, is go online. I really would. There are so many different places. Yes. Social media really is social. And as crazy as it sounds, I have a lot of friends in my life right now who I have met online.
Do you recommend dating online right now?
I absolutely do. And you want to know why? That's such a great question. The reason I definitely recommend dating online right now, specifically using the app, is because it typically takes a while to go from seeing the profile to the texting to actually going out on a date. And women tend to complain about that because they think it takes too long. Well, now there's a reason for it to go slow and for you not to meet him immediately and for you to, again, build that connection.
That's good. That's good. Tonight, I got to go because I'm running out of time. But let me tell you how much I appreciate you, how much I value you. Anytime I get a chance to talk to you, I'm always excited to do it. And we here at Fox Soul want to thank you for taking the time out of your quarantine situation to call in and to give us some great advice. Denai, you are a blessing and a gift. My dear sister, be safe, be well, and be better. I'll talk to you soon.
Dr. Sean, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right. Denai is full of wonderful advice. She's an amazing counselor, an amazing therapist, and whenever I have her on the show, I'm always excited to do so. But I cannot go to my next guest without stopping to do a segment that I promised you I would do called Corona Kindness. Corona Kindness. What does it mean? It means that there are people in the world in the midst of this, whatever's going on, this virus, this plague, who are still summoning a certain level of generosity and goodness. And so 4th and 5th graders at St. Anthony's Home and School in Columbus, Nebraska, made Get Well Soon cards for people affected by the coronavirus. Their teacher, a Charlotte Brand, then mailed the cards to the University of Nebraska Medical Center to be distributed to those in quarantine. The children made cards, the teacher mailed the cards to the people who were quarantined. It's just that simple. Check this out. Rabbi Dan Margulies and his congregation in Bronx delivered pizza to quarantined families. And the rabbi even dressed as an elf from the movie Frozen to spread some good cheer. Shout out to the rabbi and his willingness to be silly and make fun of himself. In fact, I would argue that religious leaders now more than ever need to find their sense of humor, because there may be three things that get us through this: faith, music, and comedy. And so shout out to the rabbi who's doing it. I got another one for you. Disney announced that it will be donating all the food it can during the shutdown. Perishable foods will be donated to a local food bank and the Second Harvest Food Bank of Orange County. So shout out to Disney. Disney closed out here in California. Well, I'm probably in Florida as well, but the one out here in California is deciding to do good work. And I'm telling you, you can do good work as well. You don't have to just sit there. You can find somebody to bless. I got one more for you, because Corona kindness abounds. So after being forced to postpone her Houston rodeo performance on March 13, Lizzo, you know Lizzo, posted a meditation and mantra promoting healing during this global crisis on her Instagram. The video is 30 minutes long. So please go to Lizzo's Instagram and check out what she presented to the world. She wants us to have peace and calm. She wants us to be well. I want to shout out to Lizzo, my dear sister. Anytime you want to come on the show, by the way, feel free to come on and talk to me. I'd love to talk to you. But I want to shout out to this great thing that you're doing and all the people. You know how many people whose names we don't know, whose faces we cannot imagine, who are doing random acts of kindness. They're checking on somebody, huh? Matter of fact, I did an act of kindness today. It may seem a little self-serving, but it was an act of kindness. When I got on the elevator in my apartment building, I wiped all other knobs, what do you call them, buttons, not just the one that I wanted, because that's usually what I do. I wiped all of them. I wanted everybody to get where they're going safely. It may seem simple. It may seem insignificant. It may seem small, but I promise you it's not. It's not. Because if we take care of each other, if we love each other, we have what it takes to get through this in a way that makes all of us proud of who we are. Wouldn't it be amazing if we came out of this and we were proud of how we behaved, how we acted, and we were proud of the world that we created? I just talked to Denai, you heard me, and I asked her about that question of creating a new normal. What if kindness and generosity and goodness became the new normal? I wish I had a mug, I'd drink some tea. What if that was the new normal? Not Twitter hate, not Instagram shade, not Facebook crazy, right? Where people run and gravitate to the negative and the lowest common denominator. But we sought out and we shared and we celebrated people who did extraordinary simple things. Call me an optimist, call me a dreamer, call me a whole lot of things if you like. But I believe that human beings still have the capacity to be human beings. I'm telling you, I just believe it. And even if we don't, I believe that there's something transcendent above us that's going to make us act right at the end of the day. And so I'm putting my money on one or the other. Either we're going to do it on our own or we're going to be pulled in the right direction. And it's an extraordinary thing to do. I got more guests tonight. I'm telling you, don't go anywhere, because I have more guests tonight, and I have somebody who is an extraordinary man. He is an author, he is a producer, he is a faith leader, even a thought leader. He's here tonight. I'm so glad to have the inspirational Devon Franklin. Devon, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing well, man. It's so good to finally connect with you. I've heard so much about you, and we have so many people who know the both of us.
I've heard that. I'm so grateful that we could finally bridge the gap and make the connection.
Well, my brother, let me say this to you. We are indebted for your time and your kindness tonight. Of all the seasons to come on, I bless and I honor anyone who would take time away from their family at this critical hour to be on this show. So I celebrate that entirely. I'm going to start with the practical, and then I'm going to work my way to the more theoretical, all right? So I'm going to start.
Okay.
We're talking about love, we're talking about relationship, and we're talking about this whole season of being quarantined in Corona. So I'm going to ask you this. I know that you are an advocate of abstinence. You believe in it. You think it's important. Here's my question, Devon Franklin. What advice would you give for couples who are trying to be abstinent, trying not, to not be abstinent, but they're in close quarters, they can't leave the house, and the creature craving gets to running around in the room? What advice do you have for them to maintain their abstinence?
Well, here's the reality. I mean, the reality is that if a couple is already living together, the odds that they have made the decision not to wait are pretty great. So I think we have to be talking about a scenario where a couple has moved in, they've done something already, but because of their spiritual conviction, they made the decision to stop, sleeping together. But then now the virus has hit, and what do you do?
Yes.
So
Devon, tell me.
In a situation like that, I think I always err on the side of, if we put God first in all things, we will never go wrong. So what does that look like? It looks like really being mindful of the commitment. And sometimes in times like this, when things get really difficult and challenging, we can find comfort in using the challenges of the world to make us feel good, breaking a personal commitment. But at the end of the day, we are still going to be held accountable for our personal decisions. So I would encourage any couple in this scenario, as difficult as it may be, to practice some social distancing. That's what you got to do, even if you're in the house.
Even if you're in the house.
And yeah, because also the other thing is, you know, the way this thing is going, you could be a carrier of it and not show any symptoms.
So let me ask you this question, Devon, if I may. Let me ask you this question.
Yeah,
because I want to drill down just a little bit. Give me 2 or 3 things that a person can do. And I'm not just talking about abstinence. I'm talking generally. What can a person do to avoid temptation? If your temptation right now is to overeat or to over-sexualize or to over-drink or to over whatever, how can we avoid temptation generally?
Okay, great. So this is really, really good, and it's I think it's one of the things that so many people are dealing with because a lot of times we fall into temptation because there's an emotional need that's not being met.
Facts.
So, okay, to your point about overeating. So let's say I feel insecure or I feel like, you know what, things aren't going my way anyway, so what difference does it make if I eat this? What difference does it make?
Yes, so this is what I say to myself. Keep going.
Right? What difference does it make mentality is the real temptation. Because see, if I can stop myself from getting into that mentality, then I can navigate whatever may tempt me. But if I allow myself to get into that mentality, then I'm going to succumb to whatever temptation is tempting me in the moment. So the key is it all starts and stops in the mind.
In the mind.
This, what we're dealing with, we have to guard our minds as much as anything else. We have to continuously stay positive. We have to work there because if we don't, we're going to come out of this worse than how we went in it. And I do believe this is a great time to become better personally, professionally, emotionally, and using this time when we have a little bit more time for personal development.
Yes.
And so when you talk about temptation, it starts in the mind. The other thing is to remember that it matters, and I would safeguard your house against whatever temptation you are susceptible to.
Right. Don't bring it in the house, right? Don't let it. Don't buy it. Don't. Man, you preaching to me. Keep going, Reverend.
No, it's the truth. Don't bring it in the house. You know, like, hey, just because there's not a lot to buy at the stores, buy the things that you need to eat. Like, don't just buy the cookie or the cake if it's that. Or whatever the temptation may be,
right.
Safeguard your house in order for you to be the most successful that you can be.
Thank you for that. So let me ask you this, because you're married and you have a very successful marriage, and people actually use your marriage as as love goals or relationship goals. And first of all, I celebrate that because it's hard. I think one of the hardest things you'll ever do in your life is love another human being.
You got that right.
Absolutely. And so, and the fact that you can be successful at it, you can't hear me, but I celebrate you right now, sir. Let me ask you for some advice. What would be your advice for married couples who are stuck in the house, the kids are there, they can't go to work, the stress is high? How can they keep their relationships fresh and renewed and moving forward?
Okay. So the first thing to keep your relationship fresh and moving forward is you have to establish a daily routine. In times like this, when everybody's working from home, you've got to create a schedule as if you weren't working from home so that as a family, there's some structure. We need structure.
Yes.
So for any marriage, I would encourage, I just got off with a good friend of mine, and he was saying that he and his wife and the kids, they literally created the structure for their house and even reorganized the house a little bit so everybody can have their own area. It's really important. Get on a structure and a routine. And then once you're on that structure and routine, it's important to continue to revise it and refresh it.
Yes.
So that you don't get caught in being mundane and then you don't get caught in this idea of like, I'm doing the same thing every day. It's Groundhog's Day. but you got to have a routine first before you can break that routine or change that routine. That is how I believe that whether you're just a married couple with no kids or a married couple with kids, on how you can be successful in this time.
Yes.
Also, I was just watching on CNN, and there was a doctor that's very well versed in these issues, and he said something that I thought was great, which is, you can go outside as long as you're practicing social distancing. You're keeping 6 feet from people. So getting out of the house, going on a walk, going on a run, keeping your distance, but still embracing the environment is another way that you can keep the routine fresh and your marriage fresh and your family fresh while we're all navigating the challenge that this virus has presented.
I love that, Devon. I love that because I think we've actually forgotten that social distancing doesn't mean you can't leave the house. You can leave the house. Let me ask you a particular question as it relates to conversation. Would you advise that married couples particularly have a certain set of conversations right now? Are there certain things that married folks should be talking about right now that will renew, deepen their commitments to each other?
Absolutely. How about, how are you really?
Hello? Hello? Devon, you got to come on the show, man. Keep going.
How about we just start there? You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. We are always on the go. So just let's talk about marriages. We're always on the go.
Right.
We're always busy. We're always doing something. There's always something to do, someplace to be. And so as a result, sometimes our marriage can get put on autopilot.
Right.
Because we're running, and then like you're seeing your spouse, but you aren't really checking in.
Right.
So you could go, a long time before you even know something's off in the marriage because you've been so focused hustling and grinding and doing your thing and making it that you forget that, wait, your spouse is really going through something, but because there's never been that moment to say, hey, how are you really? That all these things could be going underneath the surface. So I do think this is a time for couples to check in. Hey, how you doing really?
I know
What's
that's
really
right.
going on? What are your worries? What are your fears? Talk through it. Don't just get into action mode where you get in denial about how you're really feeling about the moment.
Yeah, that's
I think any couple right now should sit down and have a business meeting, right, where they sit down and say, let's just talk about it. Are you afraid? What are you afraid of? What's going on in your heart?
That's rich.
What's going on in your mind?
That's
and
rich.
The other thing is, what do you want to do when we come out of it? Like, where do we want our marriage to go? What are some of the things we haven't had the chance to do? But now we have a chance to do some planning so that when life starts to kick back up, we can actually start to execute those plans. Now is a perfect time to check in and start to address what may be underneath the surface and start figuring out what the plans are that you would want to get back into once this all, gets back to normal.
Devon, I love that so much. You wrote a book called The Truth About Men, and I want to make sure that I give you opportunity to talk about it. So the title is The Truth About Men, and so I'm going to ask you in the most pedantic way possible, what is the truth about men?
Oh, boy. The truth about men is that we don't know how to love. And, we aren't really taught how to love. Love is not something that is really enforced, as men growing up. We're taught to be hard. We're taught to be stoic. We're taught to be tough. We're taught not to cry. And so the truth is that most men want to love, but don't know how. And as a result, the thing that men know how to do is to lust. We've been taught to lust. And I say lust not just for money not just for women or sex, but for money, power, fame, accolades, achievements. We have a lust for so many things. And so the truth about men is that too often we let the lust master us instead of allowing the love in us master us. So this book is all about how we as men can become the men we were called to be, but also giving women information. What women do not know is absolutely hurting them. And most women do not really understand what's going on in us as men.
Because they get their advice. They get their advice about us from other women.
And exactly, which on some level doesn't make a lot of sense.
It makes no sense, Devon. None.
It's like, wait a minute, you're talking to somebody else who's looking for the same knowledge that the other person that you're trying to find out about has. So that's why, as a man, I wanted to write this book.
Yeah.
And say, hey, men, we got to do our work. Let's talk about how we can learn to love and get control over lust. And women, you got to read this book because you're about to get the 411 on what you're dealing with and what you're up
Yes,
against.
women should get this book. Absolutely, not just men. Women get this book. Now, listen, I got 2 minutes left. All right. So I want to ask you some questions. Give me like 20, 30-second answers. Can you do that? All right.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
So here it is. Why is love still important when people are sick and dying?
Because that's the only thing that they are going to remember, and that's the only thing that could actually have a change in their condition. Love is the most powerful force in the universe, and in a moment like that, it's the very medicine that anyone needs.
I love that. Here's another one for you. After this storm is over, how can love restore America?
Oh, it's all about love. How love can do it is because, see, love is an action word. So as the moment is over, we got to get back into action. We got to put love in action by taking care of those that have lost their jobs. We got to get the economy back working. We got to get small businesses back going. So many restaurants are going to be closed. So we show love by supporting our communities, by supporting those that can't support themselves. That's how we get back to allowing love to lead the way, by not just talking about the word love, but putting it in action as soon as this passes.
Here's another one for you, because Devon, I'm telling you, we got to have you back on, because I could talk to you for 2 hours. All right, here's my next one. What do you believe?
What do I believe?
What do you believe?
I believe that, God is real, that Jesus saves, and that love wins. I believe that. And even in times like this, those truths don't go anywhere from me. They may be tested, but they are still truth nonetheless. And I believe in that every day. And as a result, that helps me get through the day, knowing that this world is in God's hands and that there's a plan for us.
I believe, what you just, last night I had Jamal Bryant on the show last night. I know the two of you know each other.
Oh, nice.
He's a great guy, brilliant guy.
Yeah.
And he and I talked last night about the whole image of the whole reality, rather, of needing to be connected to an understanding of God that allows you to handle turmoil and trial and tribulation. Early on in the beginning of the 2000s and in the late part of the 90s, a lot of black Christians were into prosperity gospel, prosperity preaching, where religion became a way to get things. And the point I'm making is this. When the prodigal son leaves his father's home, he says to his father, "Give me." But after he goes down into trouble and comes out on the other side, he goes back to his father and says, "Make me." Here's my question. Is it possible that this moment might be an opportunity for the black community particularly to go from give me to make me?
That's a great question. I think it's a complicated answer.
I respect that.
It's a complicated answer because in this season, when jobs are being lost, when restaurants are closing, when small businesses are being hurt, that is absolutely going to hurt, communities of color economically. So as much as I would love to say, yes, it should be a moment where we say, may it make me, I do think that there's still going to be some needs that the government is going to need to address, and that those that have resources are going to need to help those that do not. So I think that we can still have a make me mentality with a give me need.
I love that. Hold on, let me clap for you, because I'm the only one in the studio. I love that. It's not either or. It's give me and make me.
There it is. There it is. We're going to need all of it. All of it.
And I love the notion of that the larger society has a role to play in helping the least of these get back on their feet. And I appreciate you having that kind of social and political sensitivity, even as we have a conversation about love. Devon Franklin, you're all right with me.
Thank you, my brother. So are you.
my last question before I let you go is, what's new? What do you have coming up? What are you excited about? I know right now it may not be happening, but in future weeks, future months, what's coming up? What are you excited about?
Oh, I'm so excited about so many things. I got, a couple movies that I'm getting ready to start production on. I have new books that I just set up. There's an Audible book I'm working on and another book that comes out. The Missus, she's doing a show right now for Amazon. Once they get back into production, that should come out this year. So we're just excited. So many things. But, the biggest thing I'm excited about is life. I think in moments like this, we just got to appreciate where we are, not so much about where we're going. As we can see in a moment's notice, things can change.
That's right.
And I think we just have to learn to embrace the moment. We're the biggest project that we can focus on right now. And I think if we think that way and we enjoy the moment, then we can get all that the moment has for us. And so that's what I'm also trying to work on beyond projects. I'm trying to work on the project of the moment and get the best out of it.
I love that. How did you get into ministry?
I started preaching when I was 15.
Really?
I've been in church, my whole life, and started preaching when I was 15 and never wanted to do anything with ministry. Was always focused on Hollywood and making it in entertainment. And but I had the gift of ministry. So at a certain point, God just basically said, don't put me in a box. And so I started to embrace my entertainment career and my passion for ministry. And the two just work really well together. And one, helps the other, and neither slows the other down.
Are you a preacher's kid?
No, my uncle was the pastor, so I'm a preacher's nephew, so to speak. But it feels like I was a preacher's kid because we were in the church every day, man. You know how that goes.
I started speaking and preaching. I guess you would call it. I don't know what. It wasn't much of a preaching, but I started when I was 16 years old, and so I can totally relate to that. And let me ask you this, because only somebody who started that young can answer this kind of question. All right.
Okay.
When you hear, and I'm not asking about anybody in particular, when you hear a sermon or a message, how long does it take you before you know it's going to be something good or not so much?
Less than 5 minutes.
Man, it takes me 30 seconds.
I know it. Dude, in a minute, I know this ain't gonna work. Or I know in a minute, this is gonna be good. I can tell, yo.
Yeah, I can tell from how you read the scripture if you know what you're doing.
I know. I'm with you. You just know. You're like, oh Lord, this is gonna be me in for a long one.
My dear brother, thank you so much for being on, and please send my regards to your family. You guys have kids?
No, not yet. We're working on that, so hopefully we'll,
I just talked about Corona babies.
Be able to add to the family.
I just talked about Corona babies with my expert earlier, so you never know, Reverend. You never know. But
You never know. You never know.
Well, listen, man, enjoy life. I am so indebted to you for your wisdom and for your kindness tonight, and I look forward to having you in person in the studio. Now that we've connected, you know that we're gonna be dealing and talking in the future. You are a remarkable gift to the body.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate all that you're doing, and thanks for this platform to let us get the good word out.
Devon Franklin, have a good night.
You too. All right, Doug.
All right, man. Look, everybody who can. Get that book, The Truth About Men. And apparently several women need to buy it as well, because, if you're getting your advice about a man from another woman, that's not how you do that. You've got to talk to a man to understand a man, no more than you would talk to a man to understand a woman. Don't talk to me to understand. I can't help you. I can't help you to understand a woman. I can help you understand a guy. So buy the book. Devon Franklin, such a good spirit, isn't he? That's just a great, generous presence. He seems so even, so balanced, and I love people like that. I think my next guest is on the line. Is that right? He's coming on. He's not on yet, but you and I, have some more things to talk about. And I want you to understand this: there is an election going on in this country, and contrary to popular opinion, coronavirus is not the only thing going on. In fact, on Sunday, there was a Democratic debate where Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders got together and they clashed. The elephants fought in Washington, D.C. with no crowd. I don't know if you watched the debate. Oh, and for everybody who used to say that politics don't matter and the government don't matter, Exhibit A, what's going on right now? Government actually matters. Who the governor is, who the mayor is, and certainly who the president happens to be, it matters when you're in moments like this. So I don't want none of these woke people telling me how much government don't matter. It absolutely matters, because you can't go to the restaurant because of the government. You can't go to the movies because of the government, and you have to stay home because of the government. So it matters. Anyway, on Sunday, Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders got together, and it was a very interesting debate. I hope you watched it. If you didn't watch it, you should have, because one of these two men apparently is going to be Joe Biden from the delegate lead. He is going to be the one, I think anyway, to ascend for the nomination. So we need to be engaged in this. And Joe Biden at the debate, if you saw it, said, he promised out loud that he is going to nominate a woman to be his vice president. He said that he, in no uncertain terms, vowed to nominate a woman. Now, Bernie Sanders kind of inched his way there and said he's leaning towards it. Come on, Bernie, stop all that leaning and run. Don't lean, brother, run to that. Biden said he would do it. Now, what I was waiting for him to do was to go one step further and say, I'm not just going to nominate a woman, I'm going to nominate a woman of color, i.e. a black woman. Now, I do this every time they have a debate, and so I'm going to do it now. Here's what the candidates should have said. It's very simple. They both should have said, I am going to have as my running mate for the vice presidency of the United States a black or brown woman. If they had said that, either one of them, election over. Because you're going to marshal and activate and leverage the most powerful voting constituency, not just in the Democratic Party, but in America. One, black women, and two, women generally. Now, I don't know, who Joe Biden is thinking about in his mind, but you've heard me say in past shows who I think. I think Kamala Harris would be great. I think Stacey Abrams would be great. You know what I'm saying? I think there are many women. Matter of fact, if we really wanted to go crazy, put all AOC on the ticket. Immediately, he would have a whole generation of support. Immediately. Now, the right would go crazy, but they're going to go crazy anyway. So, keep your eye on the election. States were voting today all over the country. Some canceled their elections because of what was going on. But I got to get to my last guest of the night. I don't have a lot of time, but would you welcome to the program an extraordinary artist, an extraordinary singer, and a pastor and a leader. He is a faith leader in this city and in this nation. Welcome to the program, Dietrich Hatton.
Blessings to you, my brother.
How you doing, man? Thank you for coming on.
Man, I can't complain. I'm alive. I don't have the virus, so I'm blessed.
Okay. Before we go on, I need you to take the phone off the speaker and talk into the headset because we're getting an echo here.
Okay. Let me. Can you hear me now?
There it goes. So let's get into it. So Paul says, faith, hope, and love abide, but the greatest of these is love. Here's my question, Dietrich. Why is love still the greatest of these?
Oh, because love is God. If you want to get to the core of any matter, put love in the matter, and love is God. So there's nothing that supersedes love. I ran into a lady in the airport, big fan of my music, and she was a Hindu. She's Hindu. Hindus pray to 100 different gods. They pray about everything. There's a God for every single thing. Her husband is Catholic. And I said, how in the world are you being a Hindu and a Catholic? How do you coexist in the same house?
Great question.
She said, Dietrich, love. And for some reason, a light bulb just went off in my head. Like, it seemed like I should know that, right? But it just really resonated in my heart when she said, love is, we don't even get into religious debates. We don't fuss over all that stuff. That's all. She said, no, love is what keeps us together. And I think that's what life is calling for now.
Yeah.
For us to go back to love and go back to the basics of what's keeping all this together.
Yeah, no,
Love.
I honor that. I value that. I celebrate everything that you just said. I want to ask you an additional question. The German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche said that there are only two things that have the power to get us through the chaoticness of life. He said the first one was will, and the second one was music. I want to ask you this question based upon that premise of Nietzsche. Is there a song that you think people should cling to in this moment that would give them something to stand on? Now, I know we have the whole catalog of black, church music, but is there a song in particular that comes to your mind that you believe would help guide us in this time?
I think every song on my brand new album, Time, will work for you. Every song. Look it up. Dietrich Haddon, Time, a shameless plug. But honestly, if I wasn't just plugging my record, one of my favorite songs in the whole wide world that I listen to, and it brings such a peace to my house when I play it all over the house, is called One Day We'll All Be Free by Donny Hathaway.
Yeah.
Hang on to the world as it spins around. Just don't let the spin get you down. Things are moving fast. Hold on tight. That song is the baddest song. It's the greatest song ever written.
You gotta get to the chorus.
Hold on tight and you will last. Take it from me, one day we'll all be free.
My.
Oh, take it from me, one day we'll all be free.
I'm about to throw
that song is cold, man.
I'm throwing things at the camera. That was so good. Dietrich Haddon.
Yes, sir.
Man. So let me ask you this. We're in a very perilous and crazy time. And I'm wondering, because you're a family man, your wife, you have your family, and I'm wondering how this time, what advice would you give to people who want to use this moment to deepen their family connections?
Oh, turn off the phones, turn off social media, and really appreciate what you have. I was watching my kids yesterday, just having fun and just laughing and just enjoying themselves. They don't have a care in the world.
Yeah.
They could care less about Corona or anything else. And I was just watching them, and just tears started flowing from my eyes, and just saying, this is what we've lost. Just appreciating, being together as a family, turning off all the computers and the tablets, and just really enjoying each other.
Yes, I love that.
I pray that that's what, after all this is cleared up, when all the virus is cleared up, that we'll go back to basics, and we'll appreciate the things that sometimes, we've taken for granted, like going to the movies with your family and going to a basketball game. Those things we've taken for granted because we think, those things will be there forever. But we see now differently that when God decides to shift something, there's nothing we all could do about it.
Yeah, that's good. Dietrich, I got to get ready to go, but can you do one more thing? Do you know the song, Always Remember Jesus? Do you know that song? Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Can you just sing a little bit of that tonight as people go through anxiety and fear, as they go through suffering and not knowing if they're going to have a job and not knowing if they're going to get paid? Can you just sing that to get people's mind on where it should be? Just a little bit of it.
Always remember.
Yes, sir.
Jesus, Jesus. Always remember.
Sing, Dietrich.
Jesus, Jesus. Always keep him on your mind.
My. Dietrich Haddon, you are a gift to the world, sir. Thank you so much for coming on.
Sir.
You have really blessed me. God bless you. Be well. Be safe.
Good night, everybody. Be safe. Peace.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look. I'm telling you, you have participated in a great conversation tonight. I want to thank my guests, Denai. I want to thank Devon and Dietrich for being a part of the conversation tonight. Woo, man. Love still has something to say. Love is not through talking. I want you to remember, before I go, Joe Biden won Illinois and Joe Biden won Florida, and so he's moving right ahead to becoming the nominee. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of every time I'm here, you always here, and I thank you for that. I'll see you next time on The Book of Sean. Stay tuned for a very special show. All of your favorite hosts, your most favorite hosts on this network are all coming together. Tammy, Claudia, Mike, and Donnie, they're all coming together. All your favorite people in one place at one time in one conversation. You better not go nowhere. But listen, be good to each other. I love you. Hey everybody, Dr. Sean here. Make sure you catch me on my show every night here on Fox Soul, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. But for now, check out this black business you should know about. And to find more information in your area, just head to foxsoul.tv.
Hi, I'm Derica Abraham, and I'm here with Jennifer and Jahan, owners of Swivel Beauty. Jennifer, tell me about your business. Tell me about Swivel Beauty.
So Swivel is an online platform that makes it easier for women with textured hair to discover the very best hairstylists that specialize in textured hair. We are really building a community for this consumer who has been overlooked for far too long, and we're really excited to serve her.
How long have you been in business?
So we launched a little over 2.5 years ago.
Oh, and how's it been so far? Any challenges? What are the ups and the downs?
It has been amazing. I think since we started, this was an idea that we had. We were struggling to find hair salons and hairstylists that could work with our hair. And just as two women who were always going to the hair salon, we felt like there had to be a better way. So I would say what's been probably the most exciting for us is building something that was just an idea that we wanted to see exist in the world and actually put it out. And now we have customers coming to us every single day saying, I found a great hairstylist through Swivel, being able to build our stylist community. Today we're in one of our partner salons, Ursula Steven, the salon. Many people probably know Ursula. She is known for some of Rihanna's most iconic haircuts, as well as working with lots of other celebrities. But she also opened a salon here in Brooklyn, and she's trained a team of great stylists. And so for us, it's great to have these types of partners on our platform to be able to help promote their business, to help show how many amazing stylists are out there. So we have grown from a handful of stylists when we started, just walking into salons, to now more than 450 stylists on our platform.
Really?
So we're just really excited about the growth.
So how do you find reputable salons?
Yeah, so in the beginning it was very hands-on. We actually went door to door and got our hair done at every single salon that we signed onto our platform.
It's hard to find a salon.
It is. Yeah, we have a lot of awesome stories and questionable stories from that time period. And of course, that's not the fastest way to grow a business, but it did teach us a lot about what to really look for in a salon. So really looking for salons that specialize in taking care of your hair and educating clients, and just doing an overall great job. So we have boiled that down into a quick application form that stylists who are interested in joining our platform fill out. And we also are constantly fielding recommendations from stylists that are already on our platform, because of course they know best who the best stylists are.
That's true.
And customers who have a stylist that they love, that they just think should be on Swivel.
This is a really great idea, because a lot of times you're out there, you're in a new city,
Yep.
you need to get your hair done, and you don't know where to go.
Exactly.
Our focus right now is actually growing that stylist volume all across the country, really creating that community, because we want to be the premier destination for textured hairstylists. So you go to one place to find all of the best stylists across the country.
Okay. And how did you two ladies meet?
We go way back. So I like to joke that it's our 25th anniversary. We met in 4th grade. Jahan
No way.
came to my school and skipped her Girl Scout slumber initiation to come to my birthday party. So ever since then, we've been friends.
Yeah.
And who came up with the idea? Were you just brainstorming or thinking, wow, I wish I could get my hair done?
So we were definitely just brainstorming and talking about the struggle, just as girlfriends, on the phone one day, talking about, gosh, why is it so hard to find a stylist? Why also, as there was so much happening in beauty tech, so many new apps, so many new blow dry bars, so many new opportunities, but a lot of them just weren't catering to us. They were overlooking us as a consumer. And at the time, I was working as a magazine editor at Oprah Magazine, so I was seeing all of the latest and greatest that was happening in beauty, and oftentimes we would talk about like, well, why aren't these products catering to us? Why aren't the things that are coming out on the market really thinking about women of color and our hair care needs? Because we spend more than anyone, we get our hair done consistently, we deserve, a seamless solution.
So what kind of advice can you give to people that may want to start a business of their own?
So we always say, start sooner, start before you're ready. I think that it's always easy to think, I have to be a little bit, further along, right? The product has to be exactly perfect. It's not ready yet. It's not ready yet. And what we've always realized is like, just get out there. The minute you start telling people about your idea, start really building towards it, opportunities will open up. And that's what we saw immediately. As soon as we told people we're launching, this is our platform, this is our vision, people were so willing to help us and say, oh, I know someone you can talk to. Here's someone that can help you as you're designing the app. Here's someone that can help you think about scaling your sales process. All of those pieces that come with building a business, I think sometimes we're so afraid to tell people because they might not like our idea, or they might not, have the best advice for us, or we kind of think, oh, they might steal our idea, right? But what we found is that, like, get out there. Get your idea in front of people. People are always so willing to help, and I find that opportunities just rise up to meet you as soon as you are like all the way in.
Well, with that said, if you are in an area in the city, Chicago, LA, New York, and you need your hair done, download the Swivel Beauty app or go to their website and book yourself an appointment right away. I'm Derek Abraham. This is Jennifer and Jahan with Swivel Beauty.
Hey, what's up? I'm Mike Hill.
And I'm Donnie Harrell. Make sure you check out our show, The Mike and Donnie Show, weeknights at 10:30 p.m. Eastern and 7:30 p.m. Pacific.
Oh, yeah, it's real, it's relevant, and it's very raw, just the way we like it. Real talk with real people discussing the latest hot issues in our community, Donnie.
And it's totally unfiltered.
Ooh, yes, it's basically who we are, baby, and exactly why we enjoy bringing it to you. So make sure you check us out.
On Fox Soul.
High. What up? I'm not high. I ain't done nothing. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Fox Soul. Mike Hill, you're in for a treat tonight because not only am I joined by my co-host, you heard him over there, Donnie Harrell, but we are teamed up with late night show host Tammy Mack is also in the house. And of course, from Out Loud with Claudia Jordan. Claudia Jordan is also here with us once again. Yeah. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things for this next hour or so. Claudia was here last night. Tammy, I don't know where the hell you were last night.
Well,
but,
I'm out here in these coronavirus streets. This shit is real. It's getting very real.
That's what Cardi B said.
Yeah.
Coronavirus, the shit is real.
Yeah.
It really is.
Ain't it a song? Did it pop off? It's like it's charting. There's a coronavirus.
It
song?
is charting.
Black people, we make a song about anything.
Anything.
Ain't that something?
Anything.
Ain't that something?
So creative.
Yeah.
Have you played it on your radio show yet?
I did today.
You did? What kind of reaction did it get?
It got a huge reaction, but it's not a Cardi B song. It's actually, Cardi B made a post on Instagram, and somebody took her post and then turned it into like a remix.
They put it on a loop.
And it went viral. Loop,
yeah,
yep.
It's DJ Marquis.
Wow.
Turned it into a viral remix hit. And Cardi B was like, I'm still waiting on my residuals though. But it's number 11 on the charts now.
It's number 11?
Number 11.
We ain't gonna make it, y'all.
Yeah.
We got songs charting that are about viruses. What the hell is going on?
What the hell is going on?
There's a lot going on. We're going to talk about it tonight. But before we get started, let's invite everybody to connect with us by commenting on the foxsoul.tv message board. You can call us at 866-FOX-SOUL. That is 866-369-7685 because
We're live and we want to hear from you.
Absolutely. The coronavirus has become a world pandemic with thousands of cases of people in a life and death battle with the infectious disease, and yet many people don't seem too concerned about what's going on. Are we finally getting a little bit concerned? Not necessarily panic, but y'all, you concerned about what's going on out in the streets? No.
No, for
I'm not
what?
either.
What's gonna happen? I said that last night. let me tell you something. What's really going on? God is punishing us. That's what's really going on.
Oh, you know, I feel like the world is being punished, but I ain't do nothing.
You did a lot.
I ain't do nothing either.
You did a lot.
I haven't gotten caught for anything. So
we know about
God
you.
sees everything. That's the thing.
I mean, mind your business.
Yeah, everybody know you sneaky.
I know you ain't talking.
Well, Donnie, I gotta disagree because if everybody knew she was sneaky, she couldn't be that damn sneaky.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
No, she's sneaky, Mike.
She's
I'm not sneaky.
How do you know? What are we? Tammy, listen in.
I don't know. Is she sneaking up like this corona?
Huh?
Is she sneaking up like this corona?
Like the corona is a bunch of bullshit. More people die from the flu. I think it's just the fear of the
This
unknown.
ain't no bullshit.
Oh, are we really gonna put that out
No.
there? I mean, more people do die from
I
the
don't
flu.
think it's bullshit, but I think the levels of hysteria, I don't know if it's justified. Why don't we act like this when 10 million people die from the flu? Why don't we act like that?
Because this thing just overtook us automatically, like real quick. Like in like 2 months, it's like, whoop.
And it's
You know what I'm
affecting the
saying?
world.
It's affecting the world.
The world is
Yeah.
all 50
Yeah.
states.
Hey, Mike, did you see what Thugger posted today? That quote?
What is
He's
that?
talking about in Solomon. He's talking about how God and it was an epidemic and all that.
You're talking about the scripture from the Bible
the scripture
that
from the
says
Bible.
that God says He's going to come down. He's going to let the locusts eat your goods, your crops. He's going to
Eat your
put an
insides
epidemic on you.
Wow.
Yeah, but there are a lot of people who have conspiracy theories, so I get that. But let me tell you something about America. America don't want you fucking with their money. Yeah. We are a capitalist society, and we live by commerce, which means all this stuff ain't shutting down for no reason. It's impossible that America is shutting down everything for absolutely no reason. So there's something going on.
So it has to do with the money?
I'm not saying it has to do with the money. What I'm saying is it's affecting the money.
Yeah.
Look, you older than me, Donnie.
No, how the hell
so you can tell me. You tell me.
I'm older than you. You don't even know how old I am.
People do want to know how old you are, Donnie. I've had like 5 or 6 people ask me how old you are.
He's asking about American history.
Yes, I'm asking you about American history. You have more history than me. How about that? More wisdom. Yes, my brother. You're more mature, more experience. You like the wisdom. Yes, my brother. I love a black man with experience.
When his eyes start closing.
No, but I'm asking you, and you too, Mike Hill.
Okay, I'm on
Have
too.
you ever lived at a time where they've shut down practically everything in America?
No, yeah, I have.
I'm gonna tell you. Go ahead.
1992 riots.
That's in
Los
LA.
Angeles, in LA.
But that's LA.
Okay,
Let me tell you when it really affected me. I was in Ground Zero. I was in New York right after 9/11 when it happened. When the towers came down.
They didn't shut down everything.
They shut down a lot
In
of
New
stuff.
York?
They shut down the airports.
Yes, they did.
Well, they did shut down the
They shut down the airports and
absolutely.
affected travel. You could not go anywhere coming and going. So
But they didn't shut down.
No, Mike is right. I was on tour and we got shut down.
Yeah, I haven't seen. People couldn't move. People didn't know what to expect because we didn't know if it was going to happen again. So we haven't seen this kind of hysteria since September 11th, September 12th, around that same week, 2001.
Right, but I don't think it was this heightened where even today, anchors at malls are closing. Macy's is closing down. Bloomingdale's is closing down. The movie theaters are closing down.
But they were on alert back in 9/11. You didn't know.
But they
people
didn't close
want to
down.
But they didn't want to go out. People had a fear of it happening. I think we saw a little bit more fear back then because it was a terrorist attack.
Right.
This we know what it is. We don't know how you catch it, where it's coming from, and who has it right now. That's the biggest fear I think anybody has is that we know there are over 4,000 cases of the coronavirus here and over 100 deaths now just surpassed today. But we don't know how many people actually have the virus, and that's the biggest issue.
They said 86% of people are walking around that might have the virus. Did you know that?
Yeah, and I don't know who gets chosen to be tested because the ones that are coming out saying they tested positive, especially the celebrities, are saying they have no symptoms, right? One of my good friends is in Atlanta. She fits the profile, right? She got back from Barcelona, spending 2 weeks abroad. She has had a cough for 14 days now, fever, chills, all the issues, a pre-existing condition with her lungs, and they're not testing her.
They won't test her?
They're not testing her.
And she just came back from Spain.
Yeah, she called in. They said, call back tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning. She did. Then they said, we're just self-quarantine for a little while. She has everything on the checklist.
Wow.
Everything. But then you hear these celebrities that come out and
who have no symptoms and are being tested.
So how are they getting tested?
Yeah, the entire basketball team for the Utah Jazz got tested.
Money rules the world.
Yeah,
you got some money.
That's my point I'm making.
Kevin Durant just came out. We just found out about him being positive for the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Idris Elba, of course, we know about that.
Right.
His wife was right there next to him, Tom Hanks and his wife. I mean, so they have access to these tests, but we know that's just capitalist society. We know we've been living in this type of society for years. So we know that if you have money, that you're going to get benefits that a lot of people that don't have money don't.
I believe that America needs this break. I really do. I believe that because we are capitalists, employers don't generally care about their employees in terms of their health, their families. And if you take a day off work, they say you're not committed. They say your job is not your priority. You basically get tagged when you take off a day of work from your employers versus being applauded for maybe seeing about your sick child or maybe taking a mental break away. I believe after this break, when people come back, employers will see more productivity than they've ever seen before. But America is a place where we live and breathe by the work that we do. We are defined by the work that we do. We live by the work that we do, and we hate to take days off. And there's something really wrong about that in society. I believe we need this break right now.
We need this break to curb this epidemic because once again, we don't know who's walking around with it. So once they shut everything down, I think the government, not necessarily martial law where you got tanks on the street and all that type of stuff, but they need to put everybody in their homes, keep them away. We shouldn't, after the night, we shouldn't even be doing this, to be quite honest with you. I know the social distancing and all that stuff, whatnot, but I don't know if you have it. Claudia is a prime example. She said she could be hanging out with her friends.
I fly every single week.
Fly every single week, getting on a plane tonight. You know, she's been in the casino or whatnot. She could have and give it to me. I can take it back to my family.
All your business.
No, this is what she said last night.
I don't like breaks.
She told you.
She told the world.
I don't think breaks are good because it affects the little man. You know what I mean? When a big man take breaks, it affects the little man, and the little man can't make no money.
That's
you know what I
real.
mean? So I don't like having taking breaks and this like that because when a person's living check to check and check to check, man, that's sad right there.
But that's where the government steps in, and that's why they. Yeah, go ahead.
But the average person can't afford to take 2 weeks off work. I mean, if you can, you're super blessed. I'm leaving the hotel I was staying at today. When I checked out, I said to the front desk lady, I said, "This is really affecting you guys, huh?" She said, "We're at 7% capacity." So I'm looking at the housekeepers in the hallways. All those people are going to be out of work, and those are the people that they don't have money saved up on the wages that they're making. It's really difficult for them. And I just wonder what it's going to do to society as far as there's going to be the haves and the have-nots. You know,
it's always been the haves and have-nots.
But it's going to be next level when they can't even make anything. When you're making $0 from before you're making you're making something, but now you're making $0. How do you eat? How do you feed your family? And how desperate will you get to put food on the table?
But and that's why I say we need this break because we're now shining a light on America. Because none of this should happen.
I got to get to this caller, but yeah, that's where the government steps in. To answer some of our burning questions about COVID-19, Dr. Andrew Jones is joining us via phone to give us some insight into what should we know about this virus. And one of the things is we don't know. We don't know some of the symptoms. Sometimes Idris Elba came out and he said he didn't even have any symptoms, but he has it. What are some of the signs we should be looking out for if we suspect that we might actually have this coronavirus?
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. So just to get started, some of the signs, it's so vague. It varies from, the CDC says the top 3, because there's so many, a myriad of symptoms you can have, is shortness of breath, dry cough, and a high fever.
Okay, now, Dr. Jones, if you've had contact with someone who has tested positive for the virus, how long is the incubation period before you get sick? Do we know that?
It depends on how strong your immune system is, which is why people show no symptoms to being in the ICU. So the incubation period has been ranged, they found, from 2 days to 12 to 2 weeks. That's why the incubation, they just quarantine everybody for 2 weeks. That's the reason for that.
And what are the differences between the flu and the coronavirus?
The flu attacks your body a lot harder. The coronavirus has been around for hundreds of years. It's just a new strain that's just mutated like every other respiratory virus year after year. So the flu attacks a lot harder. That's why they work so hard and got a vaccine for it.
Yeah, he said the flu attacks the body harder. He said.
No, he just said the coronavirus has been around hundreds of years. Did I hear you wrong?
Yeah, the coronavirus has been around for a long time.
Been around,
it's a different strain.
It's a strain.
Yeah, COVID-19 is a strain. I mean, if you look at your Lysol can, you'll see.
It's a mutated strain.
Yeah, you see coronavirus on the back of a Lysol bottle.
Dr. Jones, can you explain what a strain is? Because I don't think the average person understands that the coronavirus has been around for years, but is a different strain. What does that mean for the average person?
Okay, that means, for example, that these are RNA viruses that they mutate. They have to adapt. So that's why you get sick 2 to 3 times every year during cold and flu season. with a cold, sniffles, runny nose, cough, congestion. You take the over-the-counter remedy, your body gets rid of the virus, you're good. And next year, that same virus your body got rid of mutates, it changes, and then you get sick again with a different strain. It's just changed this identity a little bit.
Like people, like I want to go for people in the hood, like strains, my people in the hood, like strains of weed, you have different strands, it's like that.
That's good. That was good. I understand.
That's a little far off, but close to that. Yeah,
That's a damn good analogy.
Yeah, that's an excellent analogy.
Different strains, yeah.
Dr. John, I want to ask you, because Claudia just mentioned she got a friend that just came from Spain, got all these symptoms, and she can't get a test. What can we do about that?
Well, the U.S. is working on that. It started with only the CDC getting the test, and the turnaround time was 3 to 4 days. Now they're working diligently with these large companies like LabCorp and Quest to send tests to the hospitals and doctors' offices. But it's going to be a while before you can have a test you can walk in, get done, and know if you're positive or not. It's going to be a few weeks at least.
Wow.
Why is it that? Why is that? That's the case here, doctor? When other countries, South Korea, 10,000 tests a day, they're able to do. Why can't?
Because there's different types of tests, just like you can test for any type of disease. And the United States bluntly picked the wrong one. So now they're trying to backtrack and get the right test.
What do you mean we picked the wrong one?
Yeah, we picked the wrong one.
There's different ways to test for a disease. There's a ton of different ways, and they picked the one that takes a long time, and that's why they weren't expecting to be this big of an outbreak, and that's what happened.
Does that have anything to do with the president?
So they knew this was going down then. So they knew this was going down.
I don't want to speak on political,
Right, as a doctor.
The position, I don't think political, but I honestly don't know if it has anything to do with him or not, to be honest.
I heard that there's a test that's about to be released that's up to standards, and guess who the test is created by?
Ooh.
The Kushner family.
Oh, Jared Kushner.
Who told you that, Claudia?
I read it online.
Okay.
Okay. Dr. Jones.
My research.
I'm going to take it back to Donnie and the people in the hood. Are there any home remedies? Can ginger ale and crackers cure this thing?
What's surprising is, and as you say that, they found that zinc in the literature has been shown to block viruses, cold viruses, which coronavirus is one of the 200 that causes the cold, blocks it from binding to the respiratory cells and decrease the duration of symptoms by 1 day. So they have found that. So home remedies that, and probiotics, because most of your intestines, 70% of your intestinal bacteria, they affect your immune system. So good gut health, probiotics, those are the 2 home remedies I recommend.
You better get you some oil of oregano,
Is
too.
it okay to use the dry probiotics and not the live ones? Do you have to necessarily get the live ones that are refrigerated, or can you get the dry probiotics?
Well, you need to get the probiotics that will bypass the acid in the stomach, because a lot of these probiotics get destroyed in the stomach.
Got it.
You need to find the ones like cultural that have been shown to bypass that and survive in the intestine.
So not like I eat Activia. Activia, is that a good probiotic or not?
That's an old people.
From what I read, it is a good one. But just make sure that it can bypass the acid in the stomach.
Activia, I see the commercial.
For infection, like yeast infection.
Activia?
You can use yogurt, I think, for that.
There are a lot of different ways you can use Activia. I got to ask you, I'm sorry, Claudia, the after effects, because we don't know what's going to happen 4 or 5 years from now. Do you think that we could?
We don't know.
Yeah, some issues with your lungs, with your respiratory system. What kind of ill effects could this have years from now if you contract coronavirus?
See, that's why they're scaring the population, because the people who are getting really, really sick are the ones who have underlying health problems. 85% plus have no issues. They don't show symptoms. That's why Idris Elba is saying, like, hey, I didn't even know I had it, because, then the year before he had the rhinovirus, and the year before they had the adenovirus. His body is doing what it's supposed to. He takes care of his body, and his body's taking care of him. So he's fine. But as far as to answer your question, adverse effects, any respiratory infection can just cause long-term lung fibrosis if it stays and cause too much damage, and can kill people.
What's more dangerous to the average healthy person, the flu or the coronavirus?
Actually, the average healthy person, the flu virus will knock you out for 2 weeks. A healthy person, the coronavirus won't even touch you.
What?
See, that's crazy.
Well, how long are you suffering the effects when you have it? If you're a healthy guy, if you're in your 20s, 30s, you're healthy, and you get the coronavirus, how long will it stay in your system?
So the research has shown 2 to 4 days you'll have symptoms if you do have symptoms.
Oh, 2 to 4, okay. And then it will just pass away just like that. What do you have? Are they taking anything? Is there anything? Is it just rest? How do you get past it?
You get past just the same thing you do for any viral infection. You take some over-the-counter, medication, you get some rest, stay hydrated, and, let your body get rid of it. That's the only treatment for it. That's what they're doing in the hospital, giving the people oxygen and letting their body get rid of the infection on its own. They're just supporting the people in the hospital with oxygen and IV fluid while their body does the rest.
Less than 2% of the people are dying for it right now. Is it just because those people have, they're older, their lungs aren't as strong, like COPD, they have asthma, any kind of respiratory illnesses? Are those the only ones that are dying right now?
They're not releasing the exact specifics about who's getting it, like the racial demographics, the one guy who was 29 in ICU, a young guy, was a white guy. They didn't release the information. Did he have underlying cancer? They didn't. Did he have an immunodeficiency? Nothing like that. So a lot of things they're not releasing.
Dr. Jones, this is what I'm trying to figure out. So Idris Elba has coronavirus, Rita and Tom Hanks has coronavirus, and several other people that we know. So my question is, how they're quarantined today. How do you know when someone is okay to not be quarantined? When are they okay to go about and touch other people and live a regular life again? And how do we know when that happens?
Good question.
So the general consensus is that you can test the person again to say, okay, they're 100% safe, but you would check for the antigen in the bloodstream. If that's a test, because you're going to test positive for that coronavirus strain because your body has antibodies circulating in the bloodstream to get rid of it next time you're exposed. That's why vaccination is important, because you get exposed to vaccines, like to the disease, your body mounts such a fast response, you don't even have symptoms.
I don't never get vaccine, doctor. I don't believe in those vaccines. I think putting the flu in you is kind of crazy to me. That's just my opinion, because I never got vaccine in my life or anything. As far as the flu,
I get that all the time, but like I said, you have people dying all the time from vaccine-related deaths in this country, and people in third world countries will be happy to take our vaccines that we don't want, because they're watching their kid die of rotavirus and Haemophilus influenza and pertussis when, we have the luxury of not having these things kill our kids.
Doctor, there's a thing going around the internet saying that if you to know if you have coronavirus, to try to hold your breath for 10 seconds, and if you can't hold your breath for 10 seconds.
I've seen that. That's all spam. That's false information.
Oh, that's not true?
That's black people stuff.
My husband been having me hold my breath for the last 2 weeks.
He might be trying to kill you, Tammy. I don't know. He might be trying. What kind of insurance you got?
So how can you self-test at home, Dr. Jones?
You got to do it for 100 seconds.
There's no way to self-test. Honestly, there's no way.
I'm going to put this pillow over your face. What are you doing?
Don't do that,
Doctor, there's no cure for viruses, right? You just have to let them run the course?
The cure for virus is your adaptive immune system taking control and getting rid of it. That's the cure.
I want to piggyback off what Tammy said. Okay, after once you test positive and you're in isolation for a couple of days, and even if you test negative afterwards, how much longer should you stay in isolation away from people to make sure it's completely out of your system?
It depends on the modality of the test. If you're testing for the protein circulating in the bloodstream that's causing infection in the body, and you can test for that, and there's no more, and the test is negative, then you're safe to go back out in public and be fine. But because we don't have that test, they know that the coronavirus can last for up to 2 weeks. That's why they're doing mandatory quarantine 2 weeks.
Hey, Doc, let me ask you a
question.
So
they know that you're.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry. Keep going. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying that's why they know that, okay, well, we can release you back into the public because in 2 weeks is plenty of time for your body to do its job and get you fine.
So, Doc, is it true that as the country starts warming up, that viruses go away, period?
That's 100% true. They don't go away, but they linger around, because in the wintertime, your immune system is a little weaker from stress, your white blood cell count drops, and you increase the secretion of mucous membranes, and so you're expelling the viruses. During the summertime and spring, you're not doing that. So virus, you can still get a cold in the summertime. It's just less likely.
Dr. Jones, what's the biggest misconception about the coronavirus?
The biggest misconception is about how many people are going to die. They have one projected person, 65 million people projected to die from Johns Hopkins research, and that was refuted by a lot of people, saying that you should wear a mask at all times. That's false. You'll know it if you have it. That's false.
Wow.
And the coronavirus symptoms are just like the flu. That's false also.
And we know black people can get it.
Which Mike said
Yeah.
they couldn't.
I did not say that.
Yes, you
I
did,
said that's
Mike.
what they were saying on the
No,
internet,
Mike, you
that
were
they
saying
couldn't
that,
get
Mike.
it.
No, you were saying that,
I
Mike.
said that they were saying that black
Mike,
people
no,
couldn't
Mike,
get
you
it.
were saying that.
And then we saw Rudy Gobert get it, and I said, well, he didn't count because he
Mike,
was
you know you
French.
switched up, Mike.
But
So you wrong sometime, Mike.
I wasn't wrong. I was saying what other people said, but I was wrong for repeating what other people said, because that's what
Doctor.
people were saying.
How can people get tested, and where can we get tested?
I love Mike.
Right now, they're working to get tested at the doctor's offices and the hospitals. So you can't get tested right now. They're very limited because the emergency rooms are overflooded. Telemedicine is being asked these same questions. It's just it's crazy out there, chaos.
Yeah,
So if
that's
one of
why
us
it's
wakes
gonna
up
spread.
tomorrow coughing and we have the symptoms, fever, coughing, all that, we still can't get tested.
You can't get tested, and like I said, if you're a healthy person, just let it pass. I mean, it's people more worried than they should be, to be honest.
Well,
Like,
just,
these
yeah,
viruses have been
self-isolate
here for
yourself.
100 years, and be here for 100 more years, and every year you're going to get sick.
You see what I'm saying, Mike? We need a black doctor to come on to tell us the truth.
Hey, Dr. Jones, we really appreciate you, man. Thanks for dispelling some of the myths out there about the coronavirus and educating us on
Hey,
others.
you guys are very welcome. Take care. Have a blessed one.
Appreciate that, man.
Okay.
So why are they shutting everything down?
So
if
it
this
sounds
is
like the
nothing?
flu
Why?
is worse.
But here's the thing. The reason is because it doesn't affect us because we're healthy. But we get the coronavirus and we take it back to somebody who isn't as healthy, we could kill them. That's the problem. That's the reason why people are dying.
Mike, I think they shut. Tam, you got a good point. I think they shutting down it. So Trump get that $586 billion that he just asked for, so he can steal some of that money.
You know, that's hilarious.
No, seriously.
Because a listener just called me on my radio show and said the same thing.
They approving $586 billion to hand out to people.
Yeah.
Now, come on now. If I have $586 billion,
That's not
I
going to make me vote for him, though. I mean,
No,
like
but
some people will.
But some people
Come
will
on,
get
Mike.
that $1,000 and be so impressed.
$1,000?
Middle America, think about people that have never seen 5 stacks in their life in their hand, right? If they get a check from the government for $1,000, people are swayed.
Can I say something?
Yes, sir, Mike.
It ain't swayed, because we had a presidential candidate who said Andrew Yang ran on that. Yang basically said he was going to give $1,000 to everybody
Well,
if he was president.
President Obama also gave.
Nobody said shit about that. Nobody cared about that.
So if you have $586 billion, you ain't taking it off the top?
What?
There you go with the grinding again.
$586 billion, you ain't taking it off the
Why do
top.
you pelvic?
I don't know. I just saw it.
No, if you was in charge of $586 billion, you're not taking anything off the top.
Am I going to take some myself?
Off the top?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm an honest person. I'm an honest person.
You already
though.
said
President Barack Obama provided a stimulus bill
Right.
that gave people money back as well.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, it was President Barack Obama's economist that suggested that everybody in America should get $1,000 in the first place.
That ain't gonna sway somebody.
So-
If you want to vote for Trump, you're gonna vote for him.
exactly.
We got to take it. Look, here's the thing, man. I think we don't have to panic. We just need to be prepared, but we need to take it a little bit more seriously than a lot of people are doing. Like, you seen the beaches down in Miami, and everybody congregating there. I mean, we're practicing a little bit of social distancing here.
Right.
But what in the hell? I mean, people, they're still going to strip clubs. Uncle Luke's strip club, they saw a video outside the strip club, packed.
Oh, wow.
People still getting in their entertainment.
No one's ever going to, it's never going to be a time where everybody falls in line. It's never going to be like that. Never.
You got to keep having fun, man. You're going to die of something.
Well, there are a few ways that you can keep at your fun. Pornhub just released free premium services.
What's that mean? What's the free premium service?
Let me explain it to you, right?
Okay. Do you already have premium services? Oh, those are the people on the beach right there.
Well, you know, they would do well for Pornhub.
Oh, they probably filming right there.
I was referring to the strip club people, you know, instead of going to the strip club, you know. But actually, the Pornhub free premium membership are for people who are quarantined in Italy. So they are providing free service, Pornhub is, to people in Italy who are being quarantined.
So what is the difference between the premium service and the regular Pornhub? You go on Pornhub. What's the difference,
Tell us, Tammy.
I thought we was talking about the coronavirus.
No,
You brought it up. You brought up Pornhub. Now you got us curious. Now the people want to know.
Tammy.
Well, I was just explaining to the people that they can get the free service if they're being
they're in Italy.
quarantined by the coronavirus.
Why only you heard about this?
Well, you know, I have significantly more information.
Okay, so you asked why people are still doing that, but after hearing what the doctor just said, can you understand why people would? If they believe it to be less, you know, of a big deal than the flu, and if you're only going to be around people that are your age, it's not like there's a risk of bringing it to old people because it's all young people at the beach. with the spring break.
So, so when you talk about do people take it seriously, and you're talking about younger people at the beach, there are, I guess, the younger generations are not taking it as seriously. There's even a coronavirus challenge out now. I know you've seen it because you love your videos.
When the girl licked the toilet seat?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's just straight up nasty.
Let's just be real. We was young. We didn't take too much serious thing. We didn't take it serious.
No.
Like, we was young. We didn't care about nothing.
No.
You know what I mean? So we got the little young kids. They the same way we were back when you was in the 50s and the 40s.
Oh my God, Tammy Mac.
Wow.
That was from earlier.
shaming you.
The first 5 minutes when you basically called him
It took him
elderly.
this long to come up with a comeback.
It took you 30 minutes for a call.
I've been waiting to get her.
There's gonna be a time. I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna say something about her elderly ass.
I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get you.
So y'all really gonna shut it down? Are y'all really gonna shut everything down?
I shut it down starting Friday. I shut it down.
Yeah, shut it down. But here's the thing: be productive though. You can use this time wisely. So if you're at home, do something.
Exactly.
Work from home.
I'm gonna go get some money.
Yeah, make some
I'm
money.
gonna sell some
Be
dispensaries.
creative.
I'm gonna do some.
How do you make money? Yeah, I want to know how to make money
What's
during
your
this
side
time.
gig,
I like
man?
that.
Y'all
How do
got-
you make money during this time?
Y'all got to come holler at me.
Hey, Donnie know a lot of
Now,
people
what
that.
kind of money you trying to have?
Look at him rub his eyes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What kind of money I'm supposed to be
Y'all do
making?
know Donnie know a lot of people that made money from home a long time ago in different homes, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't.
There were customers that were walking them.
Oh yeah, walk up window.
What
You
you
can
say?
sell ice cream out
What you
there.
say, hater?
A walk up window.
What you say, hater?
I said you have a walk up window.
I ain't never did no walk up window. That's what I didn't do. You such a hater.
Now, what are some things? What are some things we can do to make money? I want to know how I can
Well,
make
you can
money
go
during this time.
I don't.
Be creative. I mean,
Yeah.
Because you can't sell nothing to nobody because
Yes,
you're
you can.
being social.
Online.
Oh,
Yeah, it's online.
That's real. That's real.
Yeah, Pornhub.
yeah, you can start your own site if you want to.
Start
A live chat, Tammy Mac.
Myself video chat.
Yes.
Self pleasure video.
Okay.
Mike, what you gonna do, buddy?
I'm just gonna be creative.
What's
How
the-
so?
Mike,
Can finish writing. I got another chapter in my book
Yeah.
I need to write.
when that book coming out?
That book's coming out in May.
It needs to come out after all this is over. You need to
Yeah,
have
No,
it packaged
it's a
and ready
lot
to
of
roll.
other things I need to write in the book
You
too.
got
So
a
a
lot
lot
of
of other
days
stuff
left.
that
You
came
should be
out.
able to
So
finish
be
it this
creative.
month, then.
Huh?
You should be able to
Oh,
finish
I'm gonna
it this
finish it. I'm gonna finish it by next
Mike,
week.
your book gonna be good.
It's
You
interesting.
finna put the nasty stuff in there now?
I'm putting. Well, it's already in there. Whatever's supposed to be nasty, it ain't that nasty.
You gonna
but-
put the nasty stuff you know about Claudia in there?
Claudia's not in the book. She's kind of described a little bit in the book. She kind of like a surface in the book, but
There's
you know,
no nasty stuff about
nothing about Claudia. I don't know
Knock it
anything
off.
nasty
Claudia,
about
you were
Claudia.
talking about doing your taxes during this time.
Yes. Now, hey,
You know the IRS.
I'm not behind or anything, Tammy Mac.
Okay.
No red flags,
No.
please.
Well, let's.
The IRS has actually they moved the deadline for taxes 90 days.
They did,
so
without
instead
penalties.
of April 15th, it's now whatever 90
Yeah.
days from that is. So that's a good thing.
Well, that's what most of us do our taxes anyway.
Yeah. So
But,
we'll
you
be
know-
on time this time.
But as far as not taking it seriously, like people like Rudy Gobert, remember when he first came out and he was coughing? We made a lot of jokes about it here or whatnot. Are you taking it just slightly, a little bit more seriously now? Like, I notice you don't shake hands anymore. I mean, before it was a joke that you would give fist pound, but now you make it an effort not to shake hands. with
I've been
anybody.
taking it serious, really. I took it serious from day one because I don't like getting sick and getting cold and all that. So I've been took it serious.
I've been
Right.
washing my hands double the amount of times, if not more. Like, my hands are always ashy dry now because of it. Like, overly doing it now.
Yeah, I don't know. I've washed my hands all the time anyway. So I don't know that there's anything. I hug people a lot. So instead of shaking hands, I go in for the hug. So I don't know. I should have asked the doctor, like, is a hug worse
don't
than a
hug anybody.
handshake?
No,
Still in
don't
their
hug
space.
anybody. Yeah,
Still
the
in their
space.
In their breath space.
Yep, right in your space.
But just
whatever.
don't wash your hands. Wash your whole body. You know what I mean? Get in the shower. You know
That's
what I mean?
important to do.
Wash your
I don't know.
body 2-3 times a
Are there
day.
people not showering?
No, I'm saying when you hug people and all that, you get follicles on you. You gotta wash your body.
Oh, okay.
I think when you're a public figure anyway and you get a lot of hugs, a lot of people come up and shake your hand, you feel like you need to take a shower. Not that anything's wrong with anybody, but you
Right.
need to wash the day off of people.
Be funky sometimes.
But sometimes you want to wash the day off of people, you know, and
Yeah.
just kind of make yourself feel better. And change your sheets, change your pillowcases. Even when you got a cold, you're supposed to do that. If you got the flu, because what you're doing is you're reinfecting yourself when you got a cold.
I was at a spot to get something to eat, and the cook had the gloves on, right? And he was about to make me a wrap. And he had the gloves on, but then he touched his skin and he touched the counter. And then he went
that's
to
nasty.
slide in and get the food.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know, I'm glad we had the doctor on too to dispel all these rumors and myths out there because we think we know everything about coronavirus. We don't.
No.
You know, we gotta listen to the experts, the doctor. I like that Dr. Fauci from in the White House, whatever. He tells it like it is. And now Trump is finally starting to sound like he's telling the truth, which makes you take it a little bit more seriously now. Because if he starts telling the truth, man, there must be some concern there. Seriously.
I don't like how he's been a total ass about this whole thing and very irresponsible, quite possibly leading to it getting worse. And then he has one day of being in the right tone, and then he's getting praise from the media from one day of behaving the way you're supposed to behave.
Yeah,
I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, because he finally sounded presidential.
But let me ask you a question. I want you to answer. Do you think Trump has the coronavirus? And if he did, would the White House tell us?
I don't think he has it only because he's around people. Because he's always coming to, and if he had it, I think.
That should be why he does have it, right?
Huh? No, I think if he had it, I don't think
You think
he
they would tell us, Mike?
If he had it and he wasn't, we didn't see Trump, if we saw like he was from the Oval Office and it was just him by himself addressing the nation, I would think he had it. But the fact that he's coming into the press conference around a group of people, I don't really think he has it anymore.
I do.
I don't trust him though.
I don't think the White House definitely would.
I don't think they will allow that.
I don't think he has it.
This guy eats fast food. He has sex with porn stars with no condom, raw dogs them, and we think that he's gonna be the picture of health. Absolutely not, and he would never tell us. He looks like shit extra.
Can we protect Foxo allegedly?
No, it's proven. It's proven.
No, you said raw dog. Was you in the room when he was raw dog?
It's out in the case.
It's out.
That Trump was raw dog.
He raw dogged Stormy Daniels.
Yeah, Stormy Daniels.
Okay, allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah. I'm trying to keep some money in our pocket.
But also the myths out there. The myths out there, like Carrie Hilson throwing out at one time, she said that it's caused by 5G.
That's crazy, right there.
I mean, all the myths and all the rumors that we hear about this, you're going to hear so much more over the next couple of months. So
I think hers was more of a conspiracy theory than a myth or a rumor.
And it's a video that was out, because I saw the video too, and it's actually really interesting what the doctor had to say.
What's the video?
I'll send it to you, but it's saying that it activates, it's the electrical impulses that are activating things in us. That's what it says.
Oh.
So.
Who knows?
Says it correlates every major epidemic with the advancement of us going further with our technology.
You in trouble.
I do believe that. I believe that there is something with the phones being to our ears and with all of this electronic technology. Radiation not good.
Yeah. And ground zero of this coronavirus, they said, is the first place that was fully blanketed by 5G. So I'll send y'all the video.
I don't know if it has anything to do with the coronavirus, but I just think in general, there is something to the radiation being poured into our bodies.
Yeah, we don't know, but we don't know what the effect is, and I don't know if it's coronavirus or whatnot. But yeah, there was a book that came out in '81 that talked about the coronavirus coming from the Wuhan province, and it was going to affect our respiratory system in 2020. Mm-hmm. So I really think that a man, is pretending to be God, put it over there in the Wuhan province. That's my conspiracy theory, and made it spread like wildfire like that. So
and the more metals we have in our bodies, it makes us more resistant to fighting these things.
To the virus, to fighting the bacteria.
We got to get to our next call.
My player partner Mike got a cold voice. He should have been on radio. He got a cold voice.
Yeah. Well, he's on television. He doesn't need radio.
Can I say what I want to say about my partner?
My brother, I appreciate that. I mean, we're gonna do the quiet storm, bro.
Yeah.
That's what we can do.
Yeah.
We can do it while we off, man. We do radio. We do a podcast.
Let's get that
quiet storm. West Side Fly Guy.
Me and my man Mike the Thrill Hill.
And Chill Hill.
Should we leave y'all alone?
You're right.
We gotta keep it light, man. We gotta bring some humor in light of everything that's happening in the world. Please welcome in Kelly K-Dub, who's joining us via phone from Memphis, Tennessee. And Kelly, you got any conspiracy theories about how the Rona is out there affecting all of us?
Man, no, I ain't got no kind of conspiracy.
From Memphis.
It just don't seem like it's nothing. It seems like they ran out of news and they brought this up, man. And they just got everybody missing work. You know, I ain't got no job, so I ain't missing nothing. I don't think ain't nothing conspiracy theory about it, man. It's just a runny nose, sore throat, cough, fever, pneumonia. That's the same thing been around here since I've been born. You know, same old junk. You ask me.
How they handling things down there in Memphis, man?
I'm over here. I'm wrapped up in aluminum foil right now. I'm scared of it now. I'm scared of it. I never said I wasn't scared. But I think it's the same old thing, but I'm scared of it. I can't even lie. Mm-hmm. You know?
I'm over here wrapped up. I ain't touching nobody. I'm quarantined. I'm actually in my mama's house in my old room that I used to sleep in when I was little. I know ain't nothing gonna happen to me in this room. I live in Atlanta, but I came back to my mama's house. That's how scared I was. But
When you go back to your grandma's house, you scared.
Yep. I'm in my mama's house, bro. Like, for real. Right here.
How the supermarkets? How's everything in the supermarkets? Are they all cleaned out? Is it crazy? Is it chaos?
I ain't been in there. My mama go to the store. My mama been. I ain't went. My mama go up there and get food for me when I'm down here. So I'm gonna ask her and I'm gonna tell y'all what she said. But I ain't been to the grocery store.
Kato, that's dangerous. I don't know how old your mom is, but the older women, older people, more susceptible to the disease, man, or the virus.
Well, I think she be sending my nephew to the store to get everything, but I know I ain't going. That's what I'm saying. I'm in my old room.
You said that you're still working, but it's my understanding that comedians are getting really hit hard because their gigs are getting canceled. So you still got gigs going on down there in Memphis?
No, that's reading I'm in Memphis, and I ain't got no gig. That's why I came to my mama's house. My gig got canceled Friday. I was supposed to do Boosie Bass Friday.
Ooh,
I was supposed to I was supposed to be at a place called Zara tonight. Place called Blue Lagoon in Atlanta tomorrow. Another spot called Members Only. They just called me, text me, and said that's canceled. So it's just everything getting canceled. It's why I ain't going to the grocery store to buy no grocery to see what's going on because I ain't really got no money. So
you might be at your mama house indefinitely. That sounds right.
Hey, man, that Boosie Bass be jumping, man. Hey, could you get Boosie over here to the show, man? I love Lil Boosie.
I love Lil Boosie, too.
Boosie, I love Lil. Hey, man,
Lil Boosie,
man. Boosie real. Boosie pull up and forget and say anything, man.
Yeah, we know.
Lil Boosie.
Caleb, have you seen the videos of the people out there partying and trying to get into strip clubs and bars? And what do you make of all this? People heading out to the club still.
Them the people that got all the STDs and they like, you know what, I got everything else. Coronavirus ain't gonna do nothing to me. They got herpes 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 17. Them folks ain't thinking about no coronavirus. Yeah. That might even it out for some of these folks.
One way of looking at it.
Hey, you got a girlfriend that just came back from the Caribbean yourself. Did you get her checked out?
No, a job trying to get her checked out. So I'm waiting on a job to call me back to see whether me and her should still be in a relationship or not. So I'm just waiting on the job right now.
You're not going to leave if she's positive, are you?
I ain't messing with her until if her job won't let her back in the job to work. I know I shouldn't be messing with her. That's sign number one. Your job will let you come in there and work. Your job will let you. It ain't nowadays where your job don't want shit. They let you come in there.
You got that right.
Yeah.
If they ain't let her come in there, I ain't letting her. I can't know. I don't trust you. I'm just sorry. I can't do nothing about that. I can't do nothing about that. Once the job call me back, then we can resume what we had going on. But nobody. I don't want the coronavirus.
Oh, man.
I think it ain't nothing, but I'm still scared of it.
So you in quarantine. What's the one thing you miss the most about not being able to go out besides going to these gigs?
Going like just being to be honest with you, I already miss being out. Like I'm at my mama's house in my old room, so you know it hit me faster than it hit y'all. Y'all probably still at y'all house, going down the same streets y'all was going down. But I just shut all the way down. I am quarantined for real. Like I'm looking out the window right now on the phone with y'all, and I know y'all like that. So I miss everything. And I was in Atlanta clubbing there at night.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know you miss Atlanta.
So I was in there by the face smoking hookah. I was smoking that hookah too. You know, you can pass it through that probably. That's like one of them social things. I was smoking that all the time.
So do you think with this little break on your hands, you'll be able to come up with some coronavirus comedy after this is all over, or have you been writing?
I already got some coronavirus jokes and some coronavirus methods, tactics I'm going to use.
Tell us one.
For my life.
What's your tactics?
When I get pulled over by the police, I'm going to start coughing real good, real good. I'm going to cough so good, he's going to ask me what's wrong. I'm going to tell him I got coronavirus. And he should let me go.
You know a lady just went to jail for that. You know a lady just went for jail for that, right? That was called a felony assault.
Yep.
Yes. So you do that, you're going to jail, partner.
If you tell him that, But I can tell him I thought I had it because I had symptoms.
Yes, you can.
What if I take it back in court and say, well, I had the symptoms, you know? Because, you know, like I said, they all the same symptoms, everything, runny nose, sneezy. That's the same stuff been going on with me. In that case, I already got it. Runny nose, sore throat, cough, fever, pneumonia.
Well, we're going to be like the police and let you go tonight, K-Dub. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Appreciate that.
I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it, K-Dub.
And get out your mama house.
Yeah, come see us when you come back to LA, man. Hey, we was talking about that thanks, man. We was talking about that last night with Idris Elba and his wife right there as he's talking about he's positive. She hadn't even taken a test. She didn't even know. Claudia says she stay around her man will stay around her. Donnie's like, hell no.
No, I did not. Mike, stop lying on me.
You ain't even say hell no. You said,
no, Mike.
What'd you say?
I said I would take care of my woman like a queen and make sure I would ride or die with her.
That is?
That's what I said.
How
Mike.
you misunderstand that?
Mike,
What you said?
You want to roll, Mike? If we roll it back, and I said that you owe me $1,000.
Is it affecting your memory?
If
we roll it back, you owe me $1,000.
I don't know if you said it like that though.
That's what I did say. Because I love all my queens.
All right now.
Oh, Donnie ain't got nobody right now. So it's a trick question.
Are you lying when your pelvic does that thing, or you telling the truth? I don't know what that means.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
When
What
you
do I
start
do?
rubbing the inside of your thigh.
We all seen it.
Yep.
When you start trying to be smooth, you do this little.
He rubbed the inside of his thigh like
because
this.
I'll be feeling good about myself.
I'm doing it. It's moving.
I'm used to it by now. I ain't never had to sit across from him though. Now I can really see it. I'm like,
Red Eagle too.
Look, I keep telling Jackson. I said, look, we going down together.
That's right.
That's just how I roll. Like I want to be Tom and Rita Hanks. That's how I'm going down.
Really?
Would you not, Mike?
Absolutely.
No, I would do the same thing. But we was talking about that today. Like if I would have found out, I would walk out of my house, come back and bring it in, and I got my kids there and my fiance. What would I do? I would have to go into a room by myself and just look, because I don't want to get them sick too. You know what I mean? I know Cynthia would probably want to be around me and my kids. No, my kids won't want to be around me, but.
No, you gotta send your kids somewhere else.
No, but they have nowhere else to go. So I'll be in the house, so I have to stay in the house.
Then you gotta go somewhere else.
I would have
you
to
can't be in the same house, can you?
Yeah, I could be. Yeah, I ain't got nowhere else to go. Where am I going? That's my house. I pay the mortgage. I ain't leaving.
Cynthia's house.
Huh?
Yeah,
But that's in Atlanta.
What if she got it? What would you want her to do?
I would come around her. I told her if she got it. I mean, because I'm still healthy. I do have asthma though. One of the things I have to worry about, like if I get it, how's that going to affect my breathing? Because I have trouble breathing now. You know, so I have bronchitis a lot, get asthma attacks and whatnot. So
Okay.
yeah, so
tell me,
I am concerned about that.
No.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What you and your husband been doing since the quarantine? How y'all been in the house having fun? What y'all been doing since the quarantine?
We've been doing them silly challenges.
Oh, what challenge is that?
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
The TikTok challenge?
Fun?
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh.
What Jackson?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what is that? Oh no!
Jackson.
No!
Jackson.
He did
Hey,
flip the
Jackson.
switch. He did the flip the switch challenge.
He did the flip the switch.
Oh my
challenge.
God!
Jackson. Tammy got you doing that type of stuff?
Let me tell you something. If you a woman
Hold on now.
and
Did
you
he put
doing
your
what
bra
you
on?
need to do,
Is that a lingerie top?
yeah.
That was your lingerie
If
top?
you a woman and you doing what you need to do, because see, Donnie, I hear you doing all that talking all the time.
It was, yeah.
But that talk don't mean nothing. Because if you're a woman and you're doing what you're supposed to do,
No, it's real with me.
your man is going to do anything for you.
Oh, no.
Period.
You
saying that
he'll-
so he'll do anything you're saying if the right one got a hold of him.
Hey,
That's right.
And put it on in the right way.
That's right. Absolutely.
Y'all don't know me.
Listen,
I don't know about
Listen,
Donnie.
people say, I'm older than y'all. Remember, I'm y'all elder.
Well, I
so-
tried to tell
You know
you.
what I'm saying? So I'm going to claim it
tried
right
to
now.
tell you.
I'm not doing none of that. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe the right one hasn't put it on you like that, Donnie.
No,
Maybe
Hey,
that's
that's
what
right.
it is.
No.
You out here still searching.
Stop.
No, I don't think Donnie's like that.
No.
I don't think anybody can convince Donnie to do something that
I
he
think
don't want to do.
every man can be
Seriously.
convinced.
Ooh, damn, Claudia.
I'm with her.
She got some special sauce over there.
I'm
Oh,
with her.
y'all must have that
Just
special
saying.
sauce.
I'm
man.
with her. Every man.
Well, you
Every
right.
man.
Well, you right, because, no, not for me, but Mike, because Cynthia convinced Mike to do that TikTok stupid ass dance.
Ho. She did. My kids did.
Okay, my man.
But if she would have asked me to
Yeah.
do it, I probably would have still done it anyway.
Let me
But it's fun.
tell you
It was
something
fun.
about my
Did you
man.
see
Well,
it?
I saw it went viral. How could I not see it?
All over the
It was
internet.
everywhere.
Everybody
You
saw it.
can't, Mike, I know Mike's the man of his house. So I know my man, he ain't doing none of that. Nobody,
Nah,
we not doing that.
Believe me, there have been plenty of things
Because you
they've
don't do
asked me to
things
do
for a
that
woman
I've said
doesn't
no
make you
to.
a man of the house.
We're not serious here. We're playing.
What'd you say?
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we was on the same page.
What
All
happened?
right.
What'd you say, Tammy?
What'd you say, Tammy?
She got offended.
Yeah, I got
because I
offended.
paid it.
But let's move on to the corona.
Wait, no, you're still gonna be the man of the house. There's gonna be a woman of the house too. So you can still be the man of the house.
That's
I am
all
the
I
man
was
of the
saying.
house.
That's
Well, shit,
all
I'm
I
the
was
only
saying.
man
But they
in
ain't
the
make me
house.
put on no dress and no lingerie. I'm not doing that.
Who did that? Waka Flocka said he wouldn't do that. Didn't he say
Waka Flocka
was
said
it
he
Waka
wouldn't do
Flocka?
it,
He said
yeah.
he wouldn't put a dress on for that, flip the switch challenge.
No, I'm not doing
it.
I have
But
mixed
you got-
feelings on that.
You got a, huh?
What's
I have
your
mixed
feelings?
feelings on
You got
that.
mixed feelings on that?
Because when I see the guys put on like the tight dresses and stuff like that, I'm like, damn.
Was it hard to convince him to do that?
No.
No, okay. Well, hey, you have fun, man.
Let me tell you something. When you are a woman and you do everything that a woman is supposed to do, your man gives you the same in return.
Amen.
Point blank, period.
Amen.
And there is nothing else to be said.
Oh, I'm gonna
That's
say
how
something.
it is.
I'm gonna say
It's
something.
not debatable.
Yes, it is debatable.
Let's move on.
That's not real.
Well,
Well,
what's the
I will
next
say
coronavirus
this.
story?
Cynthia does everything she needs to do. She asked me to do that particular Well, she told, oh, God.
Yeah.
That was my kid's idea. And at the end, when I put a little extra on it at the end, you can ask Nicole, who was here, and you'll see her in a second. Nicole, the kids told me, Mike, Daddy, you got to do something extra at the end. And I did something extra, and that's what I
We
did.
saw your extra wee flipping out in that jogging suit. We saw it flopping around.
So everybody knows gray sweatpants is like the male thought outfit.
It is.
I
It
had
is.
no
It's like
idea.
male lingerie.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
I had
it's
no
a
idea.
male
Hey,
thought.
I had
take
draws.
ownership of a play. They liked it. Just take
No,
ownership.
that was cool, man. Like, look,
They liked it.
like I said, I've never seen more eggplant emojis in my DMs than ever before. I mean, and it's also a state of the world and the culture, man, that when something like that happens, Cynthia got a lot of fans out there, but they will flip on her ass in a minute. Believe me. Believe me. They were like, hey, Cynthia's a great woman, but if...
Oh, they was
delete.
hollering at you after
Nah,
that video?
you see it, then you delete it. I've learned to delete.
Getting them DMs,
and I'm going through, a process of
Yes,
where
sir.
I am now to get to where I am.
Yes,
So,
sir.
yeah, you got to say no. You got to let that shit go. Can't let that intrigue you. So you got
you
somebody
looking at
good at home.
I can't wait.
But this is actually going to test a lot of relationships. You're going back home to your man. You got your man at home or whatnot. Are you still doing your radio show from home? Or
I'm still working.
Oh, you still working or whatever? So you're still going to be out and about or whatever. Donnie, I'm pretty sure is going to import somebody. I know. Donnie, you during this time, you're not going to be in a house for 2 or 3 weeks by yourself.
Yes, I'm going to be celibate.
Here go the thigh rub.
Donnie,
Here go the thigh
are you
lie.
going to
That
be
must be
spending
what he
time? I'm not asking you what you're going to do with your time. Are you going to be spending time with anybody of importance in your life during these next couple of weeks?
Yeah, my yacht baby, the yacht. You know what I mean? You know, that's my baby. I rub her.
That's her name?
Yeah, I rub her. You know, I ride her around. Put her in the ocean. She floats.
She floats? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You going to drop the anchor?
When we dock.
When we dock?
Yeah.
But,
Why are you looking at me like that?
Because he be full of shit.
They got like some kind of telepathy going on, right?
Me and Claudia know each other, you know.
How y'all know each other? Y'all just start working together back in October.
But we can tell when two people are freaks.
Game recognized game.
Yeah.
That's what that is right there. Game recognized game.
I know not what you mean.
Game recognized.
I know when Claudia came in the field info, man, I saw some chemistry there. I didn't know it was like that, though.
Me and Claudia, that's my
homie right
Yeah,
there.
that's the homie? Okay.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm feeling there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Listen, don't go start no shit
Yeah,
now.
don't start no shit.
Ain't no shit being started. Come
My
on,
man
man.
watches the show, and I'm sure his lady watches the
I
show.
don't have no ladies, so some people hater. I don't have no
Somebody
ladies.
threw that out
I don't
there.
have no ladies. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't have a woman. I'm single.
Yes,
All right now.
I had a lot of people ask me about you, though.
That's cool.
They asked me as soon as we did that
Fine.
we had the love doctor on last night. They was like, oh, Donnie, fine, blah, 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 hook me up, or
We're
whatever.
gonna find you a
Yeah, I'll
woman.
hook you up. I got some friends who are interested in you.
I don't need to be hooked up. I'm
But
good.
you know what? I was kind of,
I don't need to be hooked up. I'm good.
I was a little upset by something that happened in the media. And apparently President Trump got a lot of backlash for calling the coronavirus the Chinese virus. And so a lot of people were mad because they felt like it was, you know, a racist thing, or people were maybe, he was maybe being a race baiter. And at first I was like everybody else, like, yeah, that's cold, that's wrong. But then I started doing a little research because I've been researching this virus, right? And I don't know if y'all know, but even going back to like the H1N1 and the SARS and now the coronavirus, if they have maps of where these cases are.
Originate, yeah.
Well, not just where they originate, but where they populate.
Okay.
And none of them have populated in Africa. So in Africa, there are only like 1 to 5 cases. From the SARS to H1N1 to coronavirus, and it just blew me away. So I started trying to figure out, why are they mad at Trump for saying Chinese? Because I started thinking about other viruses. So like the Zika virus. Zika is a Ugandan forest. And then there's the West Nile virus. Y'all remember that one, right?
Yes.
West Nile, we know the Nile River. Where is that?
In Africa.
Right. And so they named they named all these other viruses after African nations. And now we mad because Trump said something about a Chinese nation.
And maybe
but how come we didn't get mad when they were naming the West? And the West Nile should have been the mosquito virus.
Could have been. Should have been.
You know what I'm saying? If we naming it after stuff like the swine flu, the bird flu, or whatever, it should have been the mosquito virus. Or why was it the West Nile virus? And then there was another virus, Ebola.
In Africa.
Ebola is named after a Dominican Republic, Congo. Not Dominican, Democratic Republic of Congo.
Yeah, in Africa, right?
In Africa.
Right.
And so we've got all of these viruses named after African nations, and nobody said anything. Now we mad at Trump because he done named it Chinese?
But it's coming from Trump, and he's a xenophobe. We know that, right? And then also, when you talk about like the Ebola and West Nile virus, honestly, I don't know about you. I don't think about Africa when I hear about that. I just think about a virus. I never thought about a region or where it came from. So maybe black people aren't upset about it because we ain't really looking at it as a slight to the African region.
And I'm saying we should. We need to start looking like, if we gonna be riding for other people, we need to start riding for ourselves.
But
that's all I'm saying.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I
think
agree.
a lot of people
And we should be wrong for not knowing, because people are getting on him for saying Chinese, but we should have got on America for I don't know who names these
But if it was
viruses,
coming from Trump, I think people would. You got to understand the background. It's coming from Trump because of how he reacts to anything that isn't like him, if you know what I mean.
I get it.
Yeah. So I think it's
someone tweeted about being in the White House, an Asian woman, and she said they jokingly call it the Kung flu.
Yeah,
wow. See, and that's racist.
Wow.
That's racist.
But you know, she said if they say that to my face, imagine what they're saying behind my back.
Wow.
But they're saying it, and it's a lot of xenophobia, he's got a lot of fear, and this is one of the reasons why gun sales are up during this, because a lot of Asians are buying guns because now they're being targeted. It's like after 9/11, how people from the Middle East were being targeted. Now you look at an Asian person or whatever, and you just automatically like, oh, wondering if he got it or whatnot.
Right.
And it's so wrong.
Right.
But that's just the way we think as a society. A lot of us think that way.
And their business is taking a real hit.
Yeah.
Their businesses are taking a real hit.
I had Chinese food last night.
Did you?
Yeah. I had some chicken fried rice, and I had some shrimp.
I'm not fooling with it.
Why not?
I haven't for a long time. I just seen too much.
But it has nothing to do with the coronavirus. It has nothing to do with
just tricking us with the meats.
South Africa has banned the United States. South Africa has banned the United States, UK, Spain, and other high-risk countries from entering into.
Isn't it funny now other countries want to close their borders to us now when we're talking all that shit?
Mexico, right? There's no cases in Mexico. Have you seen cases in Mexico? Nope.
I haven't heard of it. Well, see, every state now, 50 states, over 100 deaths, they're saying unemployment could go as high as 20% now.
I think higher.
20%?
Yeah, it's got to be higher. Yeah.
Jeez. Can you
Amazon is hiring over 100,000 workers. So
paying them $2 extra.
$2 extra.
Did you see in Florida where the sheriffs or the police department said don't arrest certain crimes, selling drugs, prostitution, stealing? Yeah, you don't supposed to arrest those people.
Weekend about to be lit.
Yeah. Well, in Los Angeles County, I think, I don't want to be wrong.
No, you're right.
They're releasing prisoners who have 30 days left. So they're letting prisoners out
that's
earlier.
That's another thing. Nobody's talking about the homeless population that could be carrying it and affecting other homeless people, because nobody really cares about the homeless. Nobody acts like they care about the homeless, period. You brought up a good point about how come we're not talking more about people that die from the flu. How come we're not talking about the amount of homeless people that die? How come that's not the epidemic or pandemic when
People
it comes
really
to
don't
Because in
be caring
America,
about
epidemic here in
in America,
LA?
people with no money don't count.
Exactly.
And that's what
sad.
it is. That's
so,
what,
you know,
what I'm
once
saying.
again, we're asking, how can we use this time? We can use this time, even though this platform, we're going to go dark for a while, we're still going to be doing some things and putting it up there. We can be using our YouTube pages. We can be using this platform to get the word out. Thinking about stories and ideas and guests we can have to come on to make our people and the world a better place.
There was a story about a homeless man in D.C. There was a homeless guy in D.C. who went into, he worked, he was employed. And he went in because he got sick, got tested positive for the virus. And the hospital sent him away, but he was homeless. And they were like, oh, we don't know where you're gonna go, but you gotta get the hell out of here. So he goes to a shelter and sleeps and with over 150 men who were in that. I don't mean sleep like have sex. I mean, you know, he was housed in a place where there were 150 men. And then he leaves that shelter and goes somewhere else to try to find home. So can you imagine how he's possibly spread that virus? So you're right, Mike, homeless matter. We have to figure out a way to take care of them as well.
But once again, we got to do something to curb this effect right now. So we got to do our part as well. So we want to be responsible when it comes to that during this time of awful. We're going to keep our staff and our crew safe, and we will be taking a break. But we will air some of Fox Soul's best shows along with our other shows, The Isaiah Factor, later with Leon, The Q, and Dish Nation for the next couple of weeks. All of us will continue to engage with everyone daily on our Facebook Live, so make sure you join us there.
You don't want to go.
No.
You don't want to
Cardi
go.
gonna be in trouble, Mike.
Huh?
She talked about the president bad. I mean, she might not make it back. Secret Service might be at her house.
She's been doing that forever. They already, Claudia, they don't want nothing. They don't want that smoke, Claudia.
Right.
No, we
Hey,
won't.
we're going to head out of here. We want to thank our guest, Dr. Andrew Jones, for dispelling some of the myths about the coronavirus, and comedian Kelly K-Dub for adding some humor to our lives. I'm Mike Hill.
And I'm Donnie Harrell.
That is
Tammy Mack.
And of course,
Claudia Jordan.
Yes, see Murder in the House. Thanks for watching us on the Fox Soul TV mobile app. We will see you next time. Everybody, please stay safe. We'll see you later.
Hey!
Dish Nation.
Today on Dish Nation, singer divas Mariah Carey and Gloria Gaynor show us how to stay healthy by washing our hands to their iconic songs. Tom Hanks and his wife Rita are still recovering from the coronavirus in Australia, but it's what he puts on his toast that has everyone in Australia worried about him.
Does Real Housewife of New Jersey, Teresa Giudice, want a new young man in her life? And did Leo DiCaprio put a young woman in a coma after meeting her? Ed O'Neill thinks so. We'll break that down.
And we'll tell you how Nick and Vanessa Lachey keep things going nice and dirty in their marriage by using a shower. Heidi, Frank, and Chewy will be joining us a little later. This is Dish Nation.
Hell yeah!
Okay, so the coronavirus is serious business, and experts say one of the best things you can do to stay healthy is to wash your hands frequently. And you got to do it for at least 20 seconds. So to make sure you wash your hands for 20 seconds and to make it fun, people have recommended singing the choruses of different songs that last that long. Like, let's take a look at a couple of these. Now, first we got your BFF brat, Mariah Carey and her twins, Moroccan and Monroe, on TikTok, and they're singing along to ODB's verse in Mariah's classic song, Fantasy. Check it out.
You ready? We got 20 seconds. How's it go? Do you know it?
Me and Mariah go back like babies and pacifier.
Oh, dirt girl, don't lie. How's it go? Hot like fire. Jump, jump. All right, whose hands are clean? Did the timer go off yet?
Yay!
All right, now throwing it way back to the 70s is disco diva Gloria Gaynor with her big hit, I Will Survive. And that's definitely a good anthem for these times. Check it.
You gotta lay down
I think Mariah made them rehearse that too, because she kept looking in the camera like, it's okay. And you know.
No, she didn't make them rehearse it. Had they rehearsed it, they'd have known the whole song. They sang the parts they knew, and it was super duper cute. And she sang the parts that she knew, all of them.
They seemed scared.
They didn't seem scared at all. Don't do that, Gary. They ain't scared
You
at
trying to send
all.
defects to the house?
What are you
trying to send
say?
somebody over there?
Like they have black family. You trying to be funny?
No, I just.
Their dad's black.
You know,
too,
Mommy
and Mariah's
Dearest
black.
sometimes.
No, there was never a Mommy Dearest. That was your mom.
Oh, okay.
With the no wire hangers.
No, what's the song that you guys like to sing along to while you wash your hands?
Oh, I like that song, Push, Push in the Bush.
Sound like more like a throwback vibe. The germs is over. The germs is over. What do I buy? Them germs is over. The germs is over. Are you coming out of dance to the split for sensi? Move my hands till they get real good sudsy. What do I buy?
All right, y'all. So Sunday night was the Democratic debate between Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. And, of course, a lot of it focused on the coronavirus. But aside from that, there was one big announcement that caught everyone's attention. Joe Biden said that if he gets the Democratic nomination, he will choose a female running mate for vice president. Okay. He also said that he will appoint a black woman to the Supreme Court if he gets the chance. So, just for fun, y'all, I want to know what female celebrity y'all would make VP, and what black female would you want on the Supreme Court? Now, you can't pick Oprah and you can't pick Michelle Obama because that's kind of like obvious. So, what y'all think?
I would pick Gloria Gaynor, honey, because I hadn't seen her. I know this girl was alive, so she said she will survive. So I would put her on the Supreme Court.
You know she was alive?
Yeah, we ain't heard from that girl in a while. So she'll be on the Supreme Court because on the Supreme Court you're there for the rest of your life. So she'll survive. And on as a vice president, probably Miss Ross.
Of course.
Well, on the Supreme Court tip, I would go with Rosie Perez, because it sounds like she would give you a good tough cursing out.
Right.
And for the female vice president, I'm going to go with Queen Latifah, because we could have, like, you know, Vice President Queen.
Dope, dope. What's the actress name for How to Get Away with Murder?
The dark-skinned woman.
Yeah. I would choose Viola Davis for vice president because I think everybody loves to listen to her. And I would, of course, choose my bestie, Mariah, to be on the Supreme Court because she would be fair to everyone, darling, and make sure everyone has everything they need.
All right, y'all, well, it's time to check in with L.A. Heidi and Frank, what's going on out there?
Thanks, Head Crack. You know, Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson are quarantined because they both have coronavirus, and they're in Australia. Yeah. Not a bad place to be quarantined, really, when you think about it. And it looks like they're trying to keep themselves busy by trying out some Aussie traditions. And Tom posted this picture to Instagram showing some toast with Vegemite, and people were horrified by the amount of Vegemite that he put on his toast.
Any amount is too much.
Yeah, Gordon Ramsay commented, missing a little butter on that Vegemite. That was an Australian accent.
I know, you kind of mixed them both.
I did.
English.
That was really good.
When you're talking about Vegemite, though, you have to say it with an Australian accent. There are a lot of other comments with people saying it's not like Nutella. You're supposed to use a lot more butter than Vegemite.
Yeah, it's not jelly,
It's
Tom.
definitely not. And I've had it. It's atrocious. It's if diesel fuel was made into a jelly.
I can't imagine that. I've smelled it, but I can't imagine eating it.
It's very gasoline-y tasting to me.
Really?
I don't get the appeal at all, no matter what amount you put on it. It's really awful. I can't.
I don't know.
No. Is there anything that you eat that you think other people think is awful? It's too easy, and that's not awful. Vegemite, everybody. Vegemite sandwiches, and there's never too much.
I really feel bad. I mean, obviously, Tom Hanks is America's sweetheart, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, he's most an icon, but to have him get it puts a face that we can all relate to on coronavirus, because I think that's where some of our sensitivities about going out and confining ourselves is that we don't have that direct contact with somebody with coronavirus. But now that Tom Hanks has it, and his wife, Rita Wilson, I'm worried. I mean, can you imagine if Rita Wilson dies from this?
Don't say that.
Wilson!
All right, pop star Maluma está muy guapo. Ese tipo, yeah, sí, muy guapo. I'm secure enough in my manhood to say that, all right?
All right.
And, you know, people love his beard, and I can relate. Frank, can you
People
relate?
love your beard, yes.
People love my beard. Frank, do people love your beard?
Yeah, I think that people like my beard more than when it's not there. I've done the whole shaving it off like this.
Yeah, okay. Well, Maluma went live on Instagram and shaved his beard off, y'all. He went little by little, shaving off the goatee, mustache, flavor saver, and then finally it was completely gone. Gone, totally gone.
I've actually done this myself, but I didn't do it on Instagram story. I did this before Instagram, is that I went to a party and a bunch of people were, partying, getting drunk, doing a lot of drugs and stuff.
Okay.
And so I went to the party with a full beard, and I'd go in the bathroom and I'd shave part of it off and then go back to the party and not tell anybody and see if anybody noticed. But everyone was already tripping. So they're like,
did you have a beard?
Oh my God, did you have a beard earlier?
You look
I'm like,
different.
no. I'm just messing with people. I went all the way from full beard down to just mustache, favor saver, down to just like, little pokes out the side. I let the Hitler in. I thought that'd be too obvious.
Whose razor did you use, bro?
I just found one in the shower.
You're that guy.
Oh, God.
Oh, when you go to use it next day, what in the hell?
It was a little pink chick, and I was like, all right, Well, does Real Housewife of New Jersey, Teresa
Giudice?
Yeah, her?
Yeah.
Is she looking for a younger man? We have all the details after the break.
Dish Nation. Dish Nation.
Welcome back to Dish Nation.
Hey.
Now, you might think Lady Gaga's bugging out sometimes, but guess what? Now there's a bug named after her. Well, actually, it's a tree hopper. Now, a grad student in Illinois studied and named the insect Kakaya Gaga after the pop star because it has horns and a wacky fashion sense. Now, you think there's a resemblance here? Is this a compliment?
I was gonna say before I saw the bug that it's a total compliment, but after looking at the bug, it's ugly.
Yeah, if I saw this bug in my house, I'd move.
That bug, yes, I'd smash it or spray it with some Windex.
I can't look at it now. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
I think it's I'd be too scared to smash it.
And he a tree hopper, so he gonna fly.
As soon as you try to swat at it, it's gonna jump on you. It's gonna be on your shoulder real quick. Yeah, he gonna run into
That was
stuff.
Lady Gaga with the horn thing. You remember she used to wear the horn?
That's true, she
And
did.
got the horn. I think it's beautiful. It's fabulous. I would love to wear it as a pin.
If you name a little Gucci pin. I don't know about that. If they name a bug after me, let it be pretty like a butterfly. Or a little ladybug. Not this. This is like an insect. Like a
roach
real
would be
nasty
good
little
for you.
A roach? You mean a water bug. We don't have roaches. We call them water bugs in our house.
God.
You stupid.
Okay, y'all, Teresa Giudice, or Giudice, from the Real Housewives of New Jersey, has had a crazy few years. She went to jail for fraud, and she recently separated from her husband, Joe. Well, the 47-year-old mother of 4 daughters revealed that she might not be done having children yet.
Okay.
She said, I would love to have a little boy. I might freeze my eggs. You never know.
Crank it back up then.
Shout out to science.
Hey,
She's a lying. The truth ain't in her. She know damn well she ain't got no eggs left.
if that uterus
Why
is
would she
still
not
in
have
there
any
and
eggs
she's
left?
if she's still ovulating,
You in the fourth quarter, but you can still shoot your shot.
You can say, yeah, because after the 4th quarter, ain't no shot.
Yeah.
it's a couple eggs in there waiting to get poached. Yeah, you gotta get them out of there.
Not poach 'em.
Listen, Janet had a baby at what?
50.
50.
Oh, she sure did.
Kenya had a baby at 47.
Well, they lucky.
They got
blessed.
money.
See, there's a difference, honey. 'Cause
They got money.
Keisha, honey, 47 can have no baby, honey, as opposed to Janet, 50.
We don't know what the Lord gonna do. Who was that in the Bible had
That's
a baby
right.
at 90?
Sarah
Tell
had
me
a
what
baby.
God she did.
No, Sarah had her baby at
What you say,
100.
Methuselah?
He said Methuselah.
Who is
I go
that?
to churches, not church.
Methuselah.
Don't quote my Bible scriptures.
Methuselah was a man.
Hey, y'all know the Harry Potter universe is a big deal with bunches of books and movies. Well, now there's a miniature Harry Potter book that is up for auction that is handwritten by J.K. Rowling. The tiny book is only 1.6 inches by 2.4 and is expected to bring anywhere from between, guess what, y'all?
What?
$125,000 to $195,000 for this little ass book.
Who gonna be able to read that?
But my thing is,
It ain't gonna be no baby boomers because they gonna have the book. Like, I mean, it's hard to see that thing.
But when you say inches, it was just puzzling me. I mean, is this an inch?
Yeah, if this is your hand, the book is probably here to here.
I think your mathematics is
Got a lot
wild,
more
going,
money.
yo.
Yeah,
Like,
some is
yeah,
off.
that's
Some-
like
that's
a
not right.
7.5 inch book that you just described.
So how big is 1 to
Like
6
probably
inches?
like from here to here, like the tip of your finger is about
Oh,
an inch.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not even that big?
No.
It's smaller than that?
I would never let you design nothing.
Portia.
Oh my God.
They said there would be no math.
You failed math class?
Yes, I did.
Like I lose my earpods. I'm definitely losing this book.
Yeah, it's over. This is crazy. But the Harry Potter fans will pay it, y'all.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
a cult following. Like, they are
yeah.
serious about it.
I say the bootleg for half. And I'll make it bigger.
It's gonna have nothing but pictures in it.
Harry Potter.
Harry. I don't want it.
Up next, find out how meeting Leonardo DiCaprio in a restaurant left a young woman speechless. We'll explain after the break.
Dish Nation. Dish Nation.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Dish Nation. Well, let me say this. Now, Ed O'Neill should go down in the Guinness Book of World Records for acting for so long in Hollywood and barely knowing anybody in the business.
Oh, he keep to himself, huh?
He played it kind of low, and his daughter seems to agree. So in a recent episode of the Ellen DeGeneres Show, Ed tells a funny story about his 21-year-old daughter, Sophia, meeting one of her celebrity crushes while they were out at a restaurant. But the moment didn't go as smoothly without some behind-the-scenes drama. Check it out.
My daughter has had a crush on Leo since Romeo and Juliet. So she freaked out. So I said to her, do you want to meet him? Do you want to? She said, oh my God, you always do this. You say you know them and you don't know him. and you'll make a fool of me. I said, all right, no, forget about it. Because my back was to them. So all of a sudden I heard, hey, Ed, happy Father's Day. And I said, oh, thanks, Leo. And, is that your father? Yeah, he was with his dad. So then introduced. And then we were leaving, we walked by, and Claire said, I want to meet him too. So she met him, and on the way out, he said, Sophia, it was really nice meeting you, sweetheart. So then we walked outside, and she was like comatose.
Oh my God, I bet she was dying. Hell, I would die, and I'm old.
But I don't think it's fair that celebrity kids get to meet all the celebrities.
Why? It's a perk.
Yeah, but that's the problem. It's like a job. You should work to meet these people, earn them. You know, we have to, like, you know how your parents say, you're going to work to get what you need? But the same way with meeting celebrities, I think you should be able to, you know, you need to earn it. You need to go to work and find them on your own.
But what about the fact that some of these celebrities' kids' parents are actually friends with other celebrities, so they just meet them from being around them?
So let's just say, like, when PJ's old enough and wants to meet one of her, like, I don't know, like Disney kids' crushes or something like that, like, would you hook it up if you had to connect?
Yeah, if I had, I'd do that. Because, again, that's a perk of me being known. And
right. Would you make her work for it?
No, I wouldn't make her work for it. It's her birthright to meet them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Virginia, the state for lovers, as some of you would say, has decided to scrap the bill that prevents premarital sex.
Huh?
According to reports, Democrats recently passed a bill allowing people in the VA to have sex without being married. Now, before that bill was put in order, if you had sex without being married first,
stoned to death,
it would be considered a Class 4 misdemeanor.
Oh, gee.
And you would be fined up to $250.
That's it?
So how many of y'all would have misdemeanor
Not
fines
that's it. You
if
pay
y'all
that
lived
money.
there?
But $250, like, yo, this is the same state that created the group
He
Rexon
said for
effect.
$250, we
Yeah, exactly. They literally had a song, all I want to do is zoom, and the boom, boom. That came out of Virginia. Like, oh, yeah, now we definitely, we tap it.
Could you imagine that in Atlanta?
I'd have been broke back in the
People
day.
be paying that money,
I gotta
honey.
live my life.
You'd be in the pen, honey.
Some of y'all will get the chair.
So, guys, this could actually be a good thing because if you are in a state where you can't have sex or it's like against the law, then that's like, you know, saying you need to marry me. So
Well,
it may actually work in the women's benefit.
I would drive down to West Virginia every weekend where I could do what I want.
All right, y'all know what time it is?
It's deal time.
Need a powerful cleanser that effectively removes blackheads and whiteheads and cleans pores? Then I got just what you need. This Ultra Suction Pore Cleanser is amazing. It helps reduce fine lines and wrinkles, correct uneven skin tones, and gives you great pore appearance.
Ooh, this is just what I need, Brad. Tell me more.
Well, Gary, it includes 4 attachment heads, pore cleanser, skin softener, skin tightener, and fine line corrector. It helps stimulate skin regeneration, plus it's suitable for all skin types.
Ooh, I need me one, honey. How much?
Well, the Vivitar Ultra Suction Pore Cleaner usually has been seen as high as $80, but for our Dish Nation viewers, it's only $19.
Oh, my God.
Yes, just go to morningsave.com and tell them Dish Nation sent you.
Up next, find out what tips Nick Lachey and his wife Vanessa, honey, spill to keep the marriage spicy. Come right back.
Dish Nation. Dish Nation.
Welcome back to Dish Nation. Hollywood marriages normally don't last long, but Nick and Vanessa Lachey have beat the odds and are going 9 years of marriage. Vanessa recently shared on the Bellas podcast what keeps their relationship alive and strong. Take a listen.
Like, how do you keep the relationship alive? Like, you and Nick, like, what are your guys' tips on, like, keeping a really strong marriage?
Shower sex.
Yeah. Oh. I'm in the shower. I'm like, all right, I have a full day. You have a full day. I'm like, it's either now or no. And he's like, what? Now?
Yeah. But you know what? I couldn't have sex in the shower. You get your hair wet. I don't want to be getting my hair wet.
You a white woman, you don't care, remember?
Yeah, why are you down that road? I want to get my hair wet, honey.
First of all, you don't go all the way out like that in the morning when you got to go to work.
Huh?
You don't get your head under the shower water.
If you
just
having
in
sex,
the
you getting
shower.
it wet.
He get his head under the rod.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't want to put no shower cap on there. Don't look cute.
Not a shower cap. Be off your knees. Start there. Stand up.
Strawberry shortcake.
Golly. He just refused to not be under that water.
No, man. How y'all do it here? What y'all do?
You know, I like to go in the attic and have sex.
That attic?
Hell yeah, because we gotta finish attic. It's quiet, and the crazy thing is one time, like, so like the next day, my kids is like, we think there are ghosts in our house because we heard sounds coming from the roof. And I said, that's what happens when you stay up after 10. Show is over, but don't forget to head over to morningsave.com to take advantage of today's great deal.
I'm here because my girlfriend Sarah has an uncontrollable urge to stare at black men.
I want to get my boyfriend David and his jealousy under control.
One big issue I want to see resolved is her lying.
Yes, I have problems with white lies.
Sarah, I want you to stop lying and to work problems out with me instead of blowing up.
When we were broken up, I had a friends with benefit, and he was a black guy, and he didn't like that. And because of that, he's jealous of black men.
If our issues are unresolved, then we'll go our separate ways.
I want the judge to tell David he needs to trust me.
Divorce court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Lynn Toller presiding.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with David Mirando and Sarah Norcross. The two of you have been together for 5 years. You have one child together. And Mr. Mirando, you've had a few children from previous relationships. Yeah. Mr. Mirando, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your relationship and why you're here today?
My girlfriend Sarah has this irresistible urge to stare at black men, and it makes me angry.
An irresistible urge to stare at black men?
Yes, she does. For example, there was this time we went to the mall, and I turned to the bathroom, go to the bathroom, and come back, and she's glancing at this black guy. She's just staring at him. Just not like your normal stare, she was just flirting with eyes. And that kind of bothered me, and I confronted her, and she got really, really upset, and we didn't talk for a couple of days.
Ms. Norcross, you like black men?
I mean, they're attractive.
Yes, they are. Do you stare at them while you're with your man?
Yes,
I wouldn't consider it staring. I mean, if I see their swag or I look at him up and down, but he doesn't like that at all.
Would you like it if there was some women walking by and he's staring at them and looking them up and down? Would that bother you?
I encourage him. I tell him, I'm like, dang.
You encourage him?
I tell him, like, dang, babe, look at her butt. It's big. And he's like, yeah, you're right. But when I do it, it's a problem.
Does she do that?
She does do that, but I feel out of respect from her, I don't do it in front of her.
Do your little side glance.
I do my side glance once in a while. I mean, one man does it.
You understand it hurts his feelings, though? I mean, why do it if it bothers him? It's such a small thing to give up.
They're everywhere, Your Honor. I mean, I can't.
But the way I see it, Your Honor, if she's looking at those attractive men, she doesn't look at me like that. You know, she doesn't stare me up and down when I dress for her, you know. Sometimes I like to dress up.
I tell him, I'm like, oh, you look nice today.
Once in a blue moon.
Yeah. You know, you can't control what piques your interest, but you can control how you respond to that interest. Do you know what I mean? You know, exactly. you can decide that you're not going to leer at them in front of your dude.
And I do. So we avoid going places like. We don't go to the mall anymore because
it's that deep. You can't go to the mall.
She's
jealousy. Yeah.
I get jealous, of course, if she stares at another guy like that.
But I'm not staring at them because I want to be with them. I'm staring at them because, yeah, maybe they are cute, but I'm with him. I'm not with anybody else.
Tell me about what happened at the movie theater.
So it was date night for us. We usually try to have date nights. It was her turn to pick a movie.
Right.
And we went to the movie. She decided to watch Black Panther. And I was fine with it. I was fine with it.
And she like to lost her mind, didn't she?
Yeah. 10 minutes into the movie, she was just staring at the movie like at least blink once.
Like you weren't there at all.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Oh yeah.
You've seen it, right?
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Okay.
Okay.
So we went to the house, got to the house, and just started arguing about it. You know, I didn't
What
feel
did you
comfortable.
say to her?
Well, I
Because
confronted her. I'm like,
you know she's not going off with anybody on the movie screen,
It's
right?
a movie,
She's
Your
not.
You
Honor.
know that.
It's a movie.
she's not, but I wish she looked at me the same way she stared at those guys, you know?
Did you hear what he just said?
Yeah, I heard him.
Do you make him feel wanted and desirable?
I feel like I do, but
Apparently, it doesn't count what you feel.
apparently.
When he has a need or a feeling, you got to fulfill that one. Doesn't care how you feel about it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like, you know, I'm not going to get him a glass of water because I'm not thirsty. If he's thirsty, I got to get him a glass of water. He's
Right.
thirsty. You need to give him some water.
I'm super thirsty.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He needs to feel like you want him,
Yep.
and he doesn't.
He should. I mean, I don't.
No, you don't say he should. Know that he doesn't and fix that part. Whatever you're doing, it's not working, and you need to do something else.
Well, I won't know that unless he tells me.
We just told you.
Well, now I do.
told you. He
we
told
had to come
you.
here to figure it out.
Yeah, well, now I've told you. Are you going to accept that?
Yes.
Embrace it.
Okay.
Then go home and embrace him. Why don't you tell me what you think the major problem is in your relationship?
It's definitely jealousy.
Is it the
I
black
think-
men thing, or is there something
I mean,
specific?
I can look at a white man and he's just like, okay, whatever.
But you don't look at
But
women.
when it comes to black people, he's just like, oh, is that what you want? Is that what you're interested in? Like, no, I'm obviously with you. I've been with you for 5 years. Like, we're trying to get married. Can we get this on the road?
Right. Get the ring already.
Thank you.
Mr. Miranda,
Mhm.
do you think that some of that might be cured with a ring?
It might, yes, it's a possibility. But
Are,
it's
are
not
you
just
slow?
jealousy, though.
Are you slow with the jewelry?
No, I'm slow with the money for the jewelry.
Oh, okay. You know, it doesn't have to be expensive.
Oh, yes, it does.
Thank you. No, it doesn't.
It doesn't have to be quite
No,
expensive.
it does
has to be
not.
something nice. It can't just be something I
Why?
buy at the pawn
It could
shop.
be something from the pawn shop.
Why?
Because you love going
I
there.
feel like she's a beautiful woman, and I admire her beauty and her loving for me. So I
But
wanna
see, the
give her
ring is
something
for
big.
her.
Yes, of course.
And she'd rather have the ring than promises of a better ring
The last
later.
promise ring that I got her, she gave it back to me
Oh.
Did you do that?
And why did I do that?
because we had a fallout. We broke up, so she gave it back to me.
He broke his promise, so why would I wear the ring still?
What was his promise?
That he will protect me and he'll always be there for me and he'll be the man I always wanted.
How did
I
he break
need.
that promise?
He was still talking to his ex.
Were you still hanging out with the ex?
We were talking, but she wants me to completely just not text her about the kids or anything else.
The text is like you can text all day. A conversation, get it over with, bam.
But
So you're mad about the quantity of texting he does with other women?
Well, he doesn't text me like he would text her.
Well, you live together, though.
Right, but he's
So he
always
can
at
just
work.
talk to you because you're right there.
And he could just call her and talk to her.
Well, I need to talk to you about that a little bit. Because that's wrong. You also have trust issues with her, other than just the black guy thing. And I want to find out where it comes from. Does it come from something she's done, from her past, or something that she's currently doing?
I found a note on the table that says, I'm going to be out for the weekend. I'm going on a spa day by myself. I did some investigation.
Oh, good Lord.
And I found out she was in Vegas with her best friend.
You didn't do no investigation. Somebody told you.
My understanding, Mr. Miranda, is that you believe she's always telling you half-truths and she's not really being honest. Why don't you explain why you feel that way?
I feel she has a lying problem to me. There was this point where it was Easter weekend, and I come home from work. I find a note on the table, dining table. It says, I'm going to be out for the weekend. I'm going on a spa date by myself. And that, to me, got me thinking. I'm like, wait a minute, why would you go by yourself on a spa date? Anyways, I did some investigation, and I found out she was in Vegas with her best friend.
You didn't do no investigation. Somebody told you.
Did you go? Did you tell him you're going on a spa day by yourself?
Sure
and
did.
Go on a girls' trip.
Mm-hmm. I sure did.
Why didn't you tell him the truth about what you were doing?
Because you can't really talk to him. I mean, he would have been like, no, you're not going anywhere. He would have took my car keys, he would have took my stuff, and he would be like, you're not leaving this house.
If she told you she wanted to go to Vegas with her friends, would you have objected?
No. I would even give her money to go.
Oh, good Lord.
Has he ever objected to something like that in the past? Tell me a story about how he's behaved when you've told him something you were going to do he didn't like.
Like, when I try to go out with my friends for the night, he doesn't let me. Like I said, he'll take my car keys, and then I'll be like, well, that's fine, because I'm going to get picked up anyways. And then he'll be like standing at the door like, you're not going anywhere.
Did you stand in the doorway, take your car keys, and block her from leaving?
Yeah, I did block her from leaving a couple of times because I wanted to spend time with her. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, you know that's not the way to go.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Sure is.
That's not the way to go at all. That's the first creep and crawl into a very ugly situation.
If they want to go, they're going to go.
Yeah. Has she done anything to make you not trust her? Other than, I understand that lie, because she says you won't let her go anywhere. I kind of believe her, because you copped to it. So besides the lying, is there anything she said or done, or her history that makes you not trust her?
No, she hasn't done anything like...
She hasn't done anything at all?
No. I mean, besides her going out every weekend, nothing else. No.
So you don't think she's messing around with any guys or anything like that, black, white, or otherwise?
No. She always told me, I'm with you and only you. And I believe
Oh, no, he thinks I'm messing around with black guys.
Why do you think he thinks you're messing around with black guys?
Because he accuses me of it.
What does he say?
He's like, oh, is that what you want to be with? He's like, or if I go out with my friend, he's like, oh, did any black guys try to hit on you? What about Mexican? What about Asian? You didn't ask me that. What if a white guy tried to hit on me? You didn't care about the white guy.
She's dated black men all her life, and I'm the first actual...
First non-black guy that she's dated?
Yes.
Yeah. But I mean,
you've only dated black guys in the past?
It's what I was attracted to and who was attracted to me.
Right, right.
So then I met him at a party, and he was drunk, but we kind of clicked.
He was drunk.
Yeah, we clicked, and then we started talking more and more. We ended up getting together. We had a son very quickly, and we've been working on it since.
Would you still be working on it with him if you had not had that son so quickly?
No, probably not.
That's very honest. That's very honest.
And it's just, we've had a lot of problems in the beginning. And so I probably would have just walked away.
You walked it away, but now you had a reason to try to make it work.
Exactly. I mean, granted, I moved to Washington State with him.
Right.
I left my family, everything in California, and I went with him to make this work.
Okay. I want to talk about break boyfriends and money.
We had a break last year, and not even a month later, she was already sleeping with somebody else. It was a black guy.
I was sleeping with another guy. He breaks into my house. The guy's there. He's chasing him around the house.
You were jealous and upset.
He was psychotic.
What would you do if your partner had a roaming eye? Tell us what you think at facebook.com/divorcecourt. If you would like your case to be heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Miss the show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms, and for exclusive content, go to Apple TV. Mr. Miranda, you say Ms. Norcross is bad with money.
Oh, yes.
Explain that to me.
Well, first of all, it's kind of hard to get her to work.
It's hard to get her to work.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the breadwinner at the house, and I pay all the bills, and she still wants to do extra things besides, you know, the bills getting paid. She wants to go out to eat, and I tell her I don't have it, and she gets upset. And I was like, well, you know, if you want to help out, then we should have extra money so we can go out and have fun.
Are you a little light on the work side of things, Ms. Norcross?
Well, in November, I went to school, and we talked about it. We agreed. He said he'll take care of bills, he'll do this, he'll do that while I go to school.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then after...
Did you graduate?
Yes.
Okay.
And I got my license.
Yeah.
And I'm working on starting my business.
Nail license,
yes.
right? Uh-huh.
But, like I said, I went to a new state. So I am working on building a clientele, but it's kind of slow right now.
Right.
I can't.
She got a grind on. Is she trying? She may not be making anything.
She's fully trying her 100%. Maybe she's giving 40% of it, but not 100.
What do you think she's not doing?
She's not doing nails. I come home and she's
somebody to
do nails on. Do you understand? You got to build a business.
I offer to help her flyers and
I gave her my business cards to give out. Still in his car.
I just feel like she should try a little harder.
I've asked him to advertise on his social media. He doesn't. I send him things like, can you post this? He doesn't. I mean,
well, other than sending him stuff to do, what do you do?
Well, I'm doing the same thing. I'm advertising on Facebook, on Instagram. I'm trying to run specials. I'm trying, like, 50% off. Like, just come on.
Right. Do you see that she's doing all that? I mean, businesses are hard to start.
I know they are. They're really hard to start, but.
And all my money that I do get is going into the business.
The business.
Right. Like, I'm booth renting. I have to provide my own product. I have to, everything is
But
on
I
me.
told her right now she can work at home because she does have a little shop at home that she can work at.
I still need people to come to our house.
But I told her she can go to farmers markets, flea markets and stuff, just hand out cards or even
It's not that easy. It's not, it's not that easy.
I know it's not, but it's not easy for me to be paying everything else.
Right.
She's not helping out. It's hard on me.
What are we talking about with the break boyfriend?
So we had a break last year, and not even a month later, she was already sleeping with somebody else, and it was a black guy. And I was like, there goes the proof.
No wonder you got issues. Did that happen?
This was just like last year.
Well, that explains it.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, like, there was no other reason for him to feel the way he did the previous 3.5, 4 years.
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
And then we did. We broke up. We were broken up for about 10 months. And
we were broken up because I was working.
I was sleeping with another guy. And then he, mind you, I took him off the lease already. I was taking care of the rent. I was taking care of our son. I was doing everything. And he breaks into my house. The guy's there. He's chasing him around the house.
It was a hot mess. Can you agree with that? It was a hot mess.
Yes, it was.
It was a hot mess.
No. And then he calls his friends over. And then his friend's like, no, you don't want to go up there. He's up there, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, why are you even here? What are you even doing here?
Honestly, I was there because she was sick that day.
You were jealous and upset.
Yes, I was.
Yes, you were jealous and upset.
He was psychotic is what he was.
I was upset.
Yeah, jealous. Okay, I think I see what we have here. Do you really want to get married?
Yes, I do. I feel like I gave her my everything.
Do you really want to get married?
I do.
You know, that nonsense about I want to get her a nice enough ring is just that, nonsense. She'd take a cigar band if you gave it to her. She would take no ring and go to the courthouse and get married. That's what I did. That's a stall tactic on your part, and you have to see it as a stall tactic. And then you have to wonder why you're stalling. Are you insecure? Do you not trust her? Are you not ready to get married? You're not ready to get committed? You got to figure out which one of those things it is and let her know. And then figure out whichever one it is, if it's always going to be that way. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because that's just a stall tactic. You know, you don't really care about that. You just don't want to do it.
I do.
No, you don't. Don't believe the lies you tell other people. You can tell me and her that all you want to, but don't tell it to yourself. If you wanted to marry her and she was willing to go down to the courthouse without a nice enough ring, you'd marry her. But you don't want to, and you need to figure out why. Do you hear what I'm saying?
I hear you.
You're going to fool around and lose her, and I think you love her.
I do love her.
Lock it down. Lock it down. Now, listen. You can't help what you're attracted to, but you can help what you do in response to it. You don't have to stare, leer, look, or otherwise give black men a second glance. Don't do it. That's where he's weak. That's where he's insecure. You wouldn't want a certain type of woman that was very unlike you to be the kind of woman that jerks his head around all the time and be in the process of seeing what he desires, and that desire is not you all day long. Maybe that's part of the reason why he can't give you that last step. You have to see what you're doing that might be inviting or precluding him from doing that one thing that you want, which is to get that ring. You've got to see what you're doing. You understand what I'm saying? I told him what he needs to know, told you what you need to know. I think you both need to get it together and go on and get married. Nobody going nowhere.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Keep your eyes where they're supposed to be. Keep your eyes on the prize, not on the brothers. This matter is adjourned.
Are you ready to keep your eyes where they belong?
Yes, I am.
When are we going to take a walk down to the courthouse?
Well, we'll go next week.
So if Judge Lynn follows up with you guys in a week or two.
When you married?